Well, that brings everyone here, even David, who wasn't going to be here. What's the story with that? Is it just a shitty day sort of story? Not feeling well because sick? Uh, Anything else going on? Okay, well, I'm glad you'll be okay. I'm sorry for whatever sort of shit decide. Your face was where it wanted itself to be at. That's rough. I've been there. Not literally, of course. I never literally had someone shove shit in my face, but well, unless there was something I repressed when I was a toddler. But beyond that, I get the idea of having a rough day, man. I really do. We've all been there. In the meantime, how about everyone else? That's not David. Wait, live with it forever. What do they do, man? Does someone mug you in the side of an alley and carve out your organs?
Don't worry about it too much, Andrew.
Okay. I'll move on. I'll move on. I'll move on. Steph and Nick, how you been?
Busy.
Busy?
That's really
Okay.
mostly it.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Food was good though.
What y'all eat?
We went to Cheddar's. I had chicken Alfredo.
What's
They didn't.
Cheddar's?
It's a scratch kitchen. It's just a local place. For once, they didn't fuck up my food, so
Yes.
Do they normally fuck up food?
Yes, for him, yes, they do.
Mine in particular, yeah.
Did you piss
Or
off someone there?
No.
We either get a server who is not attentive to our table at all, like they'll show up like twice and very far in between.
Well,
And then we're
considering
waiting
I
there
go through
forever.
free refill drinks like crazy, that would just never sit right with me.
Yeah.
I want 3 or 4 refills by the time I'm done.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But whenever we go with Chad, it's fine.
Oh, that's not true. One time when we went with Chad and I was there, the food still got scuffed.
Oh.
Are you
I
sure
forgot.
they're just not mistaking you for like their creepy ex-boyfriend or something, and are punishing you for it?
I mean, I have been told that I match the profile for a very generic anime guy, so, you might be onto something.
I mean, no offense to the ladies in the room, but assuming the servers are ladies, I mean, there have been some ladies just get upset about things that aren't like, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, Anna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
And okay, I'm getting a lot of okays, mez, and it's rough. Okay, so let's try and have a fun evening, in spite of that. Where are my notes? Okay, and this page won't do because we left off here. Let me scroll up. There we are. Previously on Vampire, the night started out a bit different to how your characters may have become accustomed. Each of you on your lonesome. Alvin had, of course, finally had a meeting with the other shop owners on his street before receiving a phone call from someone who's been rather quiet to him since the prior Saturday night when you were first brought together. His sire, Arthur, informed him of the somewhat late notification and call to assembly by Prince Woods. Olivia had been taken to a vampire-operated motorcycle dealer that apparently also did modifications, as a surprise from Lyra for being such a fun bundle of chaos and for fueling her task. Admittedly, when it's something so simple as playing a prank here or there and recording it, you might not think much of it. But Olivia has pushed herself far past her own original boundaries in the process, which was probably the intent. Certain others may have also added the newest shard of the broken kaleidoscope that is Olivia's mental state. Licking equals ownership, but it wasn't long before you were dropped off at the bagel. Ashley was having an evening of upheaval. What started as a trip to see her sire's night clinic became an evening of a more despairing nature as your sire revealed some particularly dirty and vile past secrets of his, secrets that if shared might result in final death to you both. Him for doing them, you for even knowing them. Secrets of Diablerie, both by him and your clan's true story of ascent to clanhood, of stick vampires, mostly Kadif and Sabat Shovelheads. You only saw the one, but it's easy to guess at more. Before you can even pick up the pieces of your shattered mental image of your sire, you find yourself serving as your sire's surgical assistant, removing bullets from a young man. Any chance you had to ask questions as to what you were told before was ruined by a phone call from the regent, informing your sire of the assembly. Before the two of you returned, Dr. Thorne gave you an extra phone, one with the number to another phone in your sire's possession. He expressed the firm statement that he was in your court, so to speak, and to phone him if you should ever find yourself in a truly compromising situation. Pius had also a tumultuous start to this evening. The snap of that mortal's neck playing on repeat through your mind, but even more so the fact that you didn't actually feel anything by doing that. Aside from unloading corpses into your teacher's quarters, you quickly found yourself swept up in clan-wide preparations, much like the others, for the prince's summons, and thus deprived of the chance to question Lynette about anything, moral or otherwise. Before they can get to court, Alvin and Olivia get caught up in an unexpected situation at the bagel, following the sound of a blood-curdling scream, only to find a familiar face, albeit one bearing its fangs into an unfamiliar woman. Rocco, one of Alvin's Air Force buddies. A conversation of shitty life experiences later, and a ducking out through the sewer exit, brings everyone to find themselves at court, with proceedings beginning to pass by, from the formal introduction of the Giovanni to the messy and somewhat showy execution of the Foradon Butcher. Alvin begins making rounds alongside the coterie, forcing family introductions extraordinaire, including to the Nosferatu, particularly Pius's sire and sister, and the Tremere, perhaps most notably to Bias, Pius's new surrogate little brother, before Alvin split off from the coterie to exchange words with the Toreador Primogen, Elvin Belmont. While Pius attempted to explain things to a kid so sheltered he was at least 60 or 70 years out of date. Ren and Stimpy explanation. The assembly now continues. Slow, soft, largely instrumental music playing lightly in the background. Between that, the little glasses of what one could mistake for wine, and most of the guests, by and large, being mostly well dressed, you could almost forget you're in a room full of supernaturally apex predators. So long as you could also overlook the man with the mop cleaning up the stain left behind by the now executed Fordon Butcher. There's a steady stream of people circling around, changing partners, some in the dance in the middle of the room, others in the figurative social dance around the edges, flitting their way from one conversation to the next, pick up all the latest news and rumors, while perhaps making moves loud and subtle through the web of the jihad. The Giovanni, Rocco and his apparent sire, fall into the second category, though it doesn't take an expert in people to see how forced Rocco's mannerisms are. While the prince has his own share of visitors, those that do so are either among those in the upper crust of the food chain, or those with something of actual potential relevance to say. Where's this stage of the evening? Find each of you in the room.
Would you ask?
Where does this stage of the evening find each of you in the room?
Oh, Pius would probably still be by Tobias.
Fair enough.
I think I was still with Ashley.
I think so. I think I had just rescued her from her clan leader or whatever. Getting
Yeah,
her
the
schooled.
Primogen.
Yeah, the Primogen.
Mm-hmm. And what was Alvin up to at this exact time?
1 minute.
Alrighty.
Feel free to continue with the others real quick.
Alright, we will start with our focus on Ashley and Olivia. Has Olivia learned the lesson of perhaps not licking everything, or is she just trying to appeal to her friend's sense of discomfort with things and not doing it right in front of her?
I think she learned that there are times and places for it, and probably not in the prince's domain.
Hmm.
But she's still gonna lick shit.
A permanent part of the weird mental state that is your fractured dream of reality.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Everything tastes like lollipops here.
Except that one pot did not, in fact, taste like Chinese, which was a shame
Mm.
because you wanted to try Chinese lollipops.
Yeah, no, that tasted like ass.
I'm not going to go there. While Olivia is ruminating about the lack of Chinese flavored ass, apparently. Yeah. What is Ashley thinking?
Um,
Perhaps more focused about how quickly you can get out of here.
yeah, she's probably questioning why Olivia's obsessed with licking everything right now and wanting to get out of this place filled with everyone and get down to business about Olivia's dream or vision.
Yes, that is a coterie meeting that still needs to happen. At the
Mhm.
very least, though, your fellow coterie members' weird antics have served to be a relatively easy distraction from some harder questions and truths about sitting around in your mind.
Hmm.
It's easier not to think about your sire when you have to worry about your companion licking everything in the prince's domain.
I would rather have to deal with somebody licking everything in the prince's domain than what she learned tonight.
Exactly.
That's fair.
And while I will not ask for any detailed roleplay considering the circumstances, what topics has Pius moved on to with Tobias? Still Ren and Stimpy? Or if we embraced Rocco's modern life as well? Wait, has that even happened yet? I need to double check something. Oh yeah, it's happened. It started in 1993. Okay, yeah. Show of out of game hands. Who remembers those 90s cartoons?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I remember
Like
vaguely.
my parents
the
used to let me watch it.
like the original iteration of Rugrats, Real Monsters, Rocco's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy as well.
Wait,
I
hold on.
remember a couple of them.
I think Anna was trying to talk and I barely heard her. What'd you say? Anna?
Oh,
Oh, I said
I'm
I
sorry.
vaguely remember some of them. I remember like Rugrats and shit like that. Real Monsters was I think a little bit before my memory.
Oh yeah.
It was also really weird.
Yeah.
And very grossly detailed in the grossest possible places.
Yeah, those were the ones I tend to try and avoid until I got older. Like
Mhm.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was pretty up there for grossness.
I'm pretty sure that was just to play to more towards a boy audience because boys at that age love gross things.
True.
I'm pretty sure they still do. I've got nephews and they get up to all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, it's all the fart jokes.
Indeed. So, you there yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mm-hmm. So what is Alvin doing at this time of the evening?
Yeah. Not 100% sure.
Do you have another social target to flip to in the mix of all this, or he's just kind of left standing there off to the side, looking at everything else that's going on?
Hmm. I feel like I should probably talk to other people, but I don't, I don't have anyone off the top of my head at the moment.
Fair enough. In that case, back to Ashley, because we got something specific here.
Mm-hmm.
In some sense, Ashley has that feeling. One where you feel like someone's watching you, but you can't really figure out who it is. I'd like you to make me a perception alertness roll. Difficulty 8, but your specialty from perception will absolutely apply to this. So on the modifier, tick it up to 1.
Hold on, I'm trying to get to my thing. I had to open it. It's under
Dice.
Dice. Thank you.
I have your sheet open. I'm watching you scroll through it.
Perception alertness difficulty 8.
Difficulty 8, modifier 1.
Modifier 1 and roll.
What do you know? It takes you a moment. In fact, it takes you several moments. Moments enough that your conversation with Olivia continues to go by, and still you find yourself checking over your shoulders. Your first, most obvious check was perhaps someone from your clan, your sire, who you don't want to think about, or your regent, or someone else up there that might be trying to catch your eye. It's none of them. Nor is it any of your, well, friends might be too strong a word, or maybe it's not. Either way, those that might be considered as such, none of them. None of those in your coterie either. In fact, besides your gaze is sweeping across the room, that your eyes catch someone else's, someone that you haven't even been paying any attention to. But their eyes are staring into yours, and they're doing so with a somewhere between fervor and rage. That's poorly hidden, or more poorly hidden than it ought to be. I gotta go down here and
Ooh.
the man standing next to someone else you haven't met, that being Rocco from the previous night, but you haven't met him yet. You only know that this was one of the two individuals that introduced themselves to the prince from being from Clan Giovanni earlier this evening. But he's staring at you, both with his normal eye and the not so normal eye, and there is no mistaking that it's almost like you've done something to offend him just by being there. Even though you're on opposite sides of the room, and the room is quite large.
Ashley's going to stop her conversation with Olivia and kind of like, hey, I kind of noticed something weird about that guy over there. Do you know him?
Olivia's gonna look over to where you're suggesting, and Anna, do you want me to do a cold read on him?
Sure. Whatever you want to do.
I can do a cold read.
Are we bringing up your cold read merit?
Yeah, I was thinking about it while we were playing, but I think this would be a good opportunity to use it.
Yeah, about time. That was the one I gave you as part of your starting package bonus, if I recall correctly.
I'm so sorry.
How dare you make me wait this long for you to use it? But yes, this is a perfect opportunity to use it. Let me scroll to where it is in the books to remind myself. Yes. Whenever you meet someone for the first time, you may spend a number of points of willpower equal to your perception. For each point you spend, you may ask the storyteller one question about the character. The storyteller must either answer truthfully or let you take back the willpower point in order to avoid answering the question.
So, Anna, is there a question you want me to ask? I have to use a willpower point, so...
You also have to declare how many you're using at the start, which is how many questions.
How many questions do you have?
I only have one at this point.
All right, so let's just do one.
Okay, does Olivia not have any questions of her own, perhaps?
Let's see.
I don't know what your current willpower total is at. Yeah, you're already down a little bit, so I want to keep it down to just one or two.
I think I don't have one off the bat, unfortunately, so I think I'll just do the one for Anna. I'm
Alrighty.
very bad at coming up with questions. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly fine. I'm just glad you're finally stretching legs on something I've been expecting you to use for quite a while.
So I took off the one. I only have 4 willpower left.
You don't need to ask who he is. He introduced himself properly as Lucio Giovanni to the prince
Yeah.
during the introduction phase. So, what is your question?
I guess the question would be, why is he staring at me like he wants me dead?
Okay.
All right, time for some weird mind warping Malkavian shenanigans then.
I'm
As
excited.
Olivia, you stare across the room at this man that's staring very much at your friend. Information that, honestly, without context, makes no sense whatsoever. In fact, the way it just filters into your mind all but encourages you that, yes, you're absolutely sleepy and this is a dream that you still haven't found out how to wake up from. But this man, this Lucio Giovanni, is staring at Ashley in both anger, pain, rage, and some sort of bestial intent deep down below, is because he wanted her for himself. Not as any sort of weird romantic connotations, nor anything carnal of that nature. Well, maybe, but that's beside the point. No. He wanted to be the one that would bring her into the fold, sire her into Clan Giovanni.
Oh.
But
Wait
someone
a
got to her
second.
first.
Ooh.
Oh,
So that's what Olivia gathers.
And this
that
is
all of
also
it?
yes, this is why that Rocco was the second choice.
no.
Oh.
No. This twisted. This is her rival side.
Yes,
I
her
love
rival
this.
sire is the sire of your old flame.
Oh.
Okay.
And newsflash, your rival sire is going to be the sire of her old flame.
Shit.
I love this.
Okay.
So Olivia basically grabs a hold of Ashley's arm to steady herself. She's
Mhm.
feeling kind of.
Also, wait, I'm not quite done.
Oh,
Not
I
quite
thought you were
done.
done. Sorry.
I'm mostly done, but his eyes do. But as a result of this, there is. It's weird to describe because none of us are vampires, but I suppose the closest possible comparison would probably be to. Geez, this is very vulgar. I don't like talking about stuff like this, but he kind of got cucked out of his ideal child there. So the feelings he's feeling towards Ashley right now are absolutely also felt towards a certain Dr. Thorne that stole his prized child
Ooh,
from his perspective.
this is getting good. I need to use cold raid more often.
In fact, it's probably taking quite a bit to not risk going into a frenzy right here in the middle of the hall, just from your presence.
Oh damn.
And now I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, Olivia is definitely still going to be kind of dazed out from it and grab Ashley and be like, he wanted you for himself. You were his first choice. And basically it's coming out kind of like jumbled a little bit. And she
A
basically
jumbled
tells,
mess, but that's
yeah,
also how you received it.
yeah, and basically tells Ashley the whole thing in a jumbled mess.
How loudly are you telling this? I mean, he's not going to hear it either way. He's on the opposite end of the hall, but are you attracting attention to yourself?
No, she's actually whispering in Ashley's ear because she's still pretty dazed by it.
Ashley's gonna just kind of like hold Olivia close and be like, I could have been a Giovanni? What?
Yep, and Olivia's just like, yeah, Just like that's all she can muster.
What the fuck? I had 2 vampires after me? That. What did I do?
You must have been special. I don't know.
Should I
Well, if
go?
you took a dangerous combination of traits.
Possible.
Yeah.
There's probably also some familial ties. At least that would probably be what will eventually come to Alvin's mind when if and when he hears about this, because of Rocco also mentioned.
I think at this point, Ashley will start leading Olivia towards Dr. Thorne.
Oh, okay.
And Ashley
If you happen to glance back at the man, he only gets angrier, but eventually forces his gaze away from you entirely to attend to something closer, perhaps berating Rocco further for some small issue.
I wish.
But now you head to Dr. Thorne. Who currently has no ongoing conversations, though I'll go ahead and give it to you. He does occasionally seem to be glancing at one Lucio Giovanni, and there is the slightest hint of an turning of his lips on occasion, but he does distract himself with something more local.
Ashley's gonna approach him, still kind of holding Olivia steady, and be like, Dr. Thorne, can we speak for a moment?
Certainly, child. What can we do today?
Can we speak somewhere more quiet?
Ah. If this is about earlier this evening, I'm afraid that would have to wait
No,
until we
that's
were in a.
that's not it, sir.
Of course. I'm sure there are, typically small rooms available off to one side or another. This way, let's see if we can find one.
Is
And
Ashley.
you, Olivia, are you coming as well, or is this a private discussion?
She's coming too.
Okay, I was just
Of
about to
course.
ask.
Of course.
She's coming too, whether you like
A
it.
quiet question asked here or there, and Dr. Thorne sees the three of you shown into a private room where you can have whatever sort of discussion it is you need. This will have to do. Now, what can I do for you?
Olivia, can you repeat what you heard when you were looking at Lucio Giovanni?
Olivia kind of freezes up a little bit because she knows this is a. She doesn't know how William.
As you freeze up, Thorn interjects in a kind of an ever so amused voice. Malkavian indeed. Malkavian indeed. You're a
Just-
right little oracle, aren't you, little one?
She just kind of looks at him like, and kind of snaps out of it a little bit, and just like, well, I had a vision just a moment ago about how do you say his name? Lucio?
Lucio Giovanni. I
Yeah,
believe is the Italian pronunciation, yes.
yeah, and she's kind of goes into a little bit of protective mode with Ashley. Not like anything threatening to Dr. William Thorne or anything, but just wants
Mhm.
to make sure Ashley's okay.
Hmm.
And tells him what she saw.
That is a powerful gift you have there. I highly encourage you. You might want to keep it on the lowdown, or at least not trust those that you haven't proven themselves in some way to you. On my end, you are a stalwart associate of my child, and I do believe there's some sort of friendship blooming between the two of you. So I will keep my peace on all such matters. But others, more disreputable, or even those that seem reputable, may not be so inclined. So I
Olivia
take it
frowns.
that the reason we are here is you wish to inquire about the Giovanni.
Yeah, I want to kind of understand why there were two of you after me.
Well, two sires desiring the same child is not an unknown phenomenon among our kind by any means. Though I will admit I was not aware of another's interest in you until I had already just made set my mind to the idea that you were who I wanted. That just meant that once I did find out, it became more of a race. I didn't even know at the time why exactly he was so particularly looking for you. I mean, the Giovanni have traits they desire like we the Tremere do, but generally their most important facet is familial ties. Speaking of which, how well do you know your family tree, child?
I don't. I know my parents died when I was rather young, and I've traveled a lot with my godparent, but I don't know anything else about my family.
Well then, what I'm about to say may surprise you then. See, I did some digging, both before, during, and after, and it was only in the later stages, after I already learned that Giovanni were on your trail, but I had also become somewhat attached to the idea of you being my child, that I learned certain little secrets. For example, the name your mother married your father under was a fake one on her behalf. I don't know what maiden name you may have been aware of, but well, it's hard to get more pure-blooded Giovanni than she herself was. You see, the Giovanni aren't like us in the sense that they're just a clan or gathering of vampires. No, the entire main mortal family, Giovanni, is where from which they draw most of their members.
I'm
So look at you, a
related to
little...
them?
Oh, yes. Whether now to Lucio specifically, I believe is a matter of your mother being his great great granddaughter, probably also some niece in there somewhere, or some cousins, or perhaps some other little twists in there, because the Giovanni family tree is, and I am not joking, an enormous mess of largely inbreeding. But yes.
I don't know how I should feel about all that.
Well, if it's any consolation, I wouldn't be the first to imagine how you should feel about that either.
Pardon my
Still,
French, sir, but what the fuck?
well, you see, we do get quite competitive when we're after things we desire. If anything, you should probably be thanking me, though. Yours is not the sort of kind soul that does well in the grips of what the Giovanni typically practice. Or at the very least, you wouldn't stay you for very long.
I don't think I've studied up on them enough of what to know what they do.
Well, one of their more depraved rituals, and one of their more basic ones, is a little something they do, and it's called the Rape of Persephone. Now, the way I understand it, and do bear in mind, I don't know the actual arcane details, just the general process. I could never hope to begin to do it myself. But they have this, it's a ritual designed to allow multiple necromancers to supposedly share power in some fashion. And to do it, they take, if I'm remembering my notes correctly, a female corpse, then carve as many additional extra passages, extra vaginal cavities into the body as there are needed for the ritual, and then they all, well, commit necrophilia in a unified fashion.
An orgy.
Yes, a necrophiliac orgy, to put it crudely.
That's gross.
Oh, it is, and the fact that I find it gross should say enough on that matter. And I have been down to some very loose grips in terms of humanity. Why, there was a time I lost my bedside manner entirely. Kill me. Or someone.
Well, you definitely got some good couch side manners. Sorry.
Oh, you think I should have answered the calling as a therapist instead of a doctor?
I have no idea, sir. I was just making a joke. I'm sorry.
No. It's reasonable enough to make, though keep in mind that back in my day, therapists and therapy and psychology, as you know them today, did not exist. If you are not normal, you would likely just be chucked into the loony bin where they actually caged you in some sort of white concrete cage and ran all sorts of experiments and lobotomies on you just because that was how they understood things. And today we know that almost none of that actually helped the patient, if you want to even call it that.
I'm glad we live in this age.
There are all sorts of things that you take for granted that I absolutely did not have when I was growing up. Admittedly, when I was growing up, I was living in a particularly well-off state. That's what growing up in a southern plantation does for you back when slavery was still legal. My, how the time flies.
So is there anything I should be worried about?
Oh, I have no doubts he's plotting something. Revenge, most likely. Against me. Against you, even, for any perceived part in it. Or perhaps he might try something crafty or steal in an attempt to pull you alongside him. I doubt that. He seems more the type to settle his grudges in a more permanent fashion.
He looked
But of
rather
course,
murderous.
oh yes, quite. However he goes about any sort of attempts, though, I won't likely be direct. After all, violating the traditions, even if you're not a member of the Camarilla in a Camarilla city, still carries a likely final death from the prince's right-hand man, that monolith that he is. That's only if he's caught.
I have a feeling
So
he
do
wouldn't
take
get
care.
caught.
Ah, yes, do take care, child. While I am confident enough in my own protections, I know you are just beginning the path down the path to being able to discover your own. So whenever you're outside the chantry or away from me, do try and keep close to your fellow coterie members. And I'm sure they'll cover your back, and you cover as long as you continue to cover theirs. That's typically how coteries work.
I'll remember that. I probably should inform them so that they're not taken off guard.
Well, in that case, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it. Olivia, we should probably go find Alvin and Pius.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Thorne.
Olivia does like an awkward curtsy and
Mensch.
just like, yeah, nice meeting you.
Mention nothing of it. And do remember to call if you should get into something that you can't get out of on your own.
I've got the phone. I'll be prepared.
Of course. Now, I suppose we shall head back out to make our grand re-entrance into the state of affairs going on out there. I do believe I'm in the mood for dancing.
Enjoy your dance.
I'm sure. Now, if only I can get Miss Valentine to say yes.
Mm.
That might be a hard sell, considering you're a clan of introverts. So you make a return back to the main room. Who do you seek out, Pius or Alvin? And by the way, I have been letting this go on a bit long, but I've tried not to get to Pius too much because I know David's not in a full RP mood. So, just let me know if that changes, and I'll make room for you.
No problem. You can include me whenever, and I'll do my best.
All right. Well, that will be up to the girls at this point.
Alvin's probably going to be mid-conversation with Wave.
Talking about anything of relevance, or just shooting the breeze?
I'm gonna get Wave to show me her Primogen because she talks about him all the time.
If you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Okay, one moment. And her eyes scan the room very, very briefly. And, there he is. And I need to get that up. Yep. Come with me. And she will take you over to me to one Jacob Barwell, who is in the middle of a conversation with someone. Whoever they are, they're not a Primogen. Even if they weren't, wouldn't matter, as Waif quickly grabs Jacob by the ear and drags him bodily over into a corner where the three of you can talk.
Jeez.
Goddamn Wave.
At first, he reacts very aggressively until he realizes who is exactly pulling him by the ear, and then it's like a dog that went from being the most aggressive defender of something to the most friendly of puppies, or at least most submissive of puppies. But who did? Wave, please, can you just stop with the ear?
I you have my sincerest apologies. I did not expect for her to bring you over in such a manner.
Oh, but that wouldn't be nearly as much fun.
Touche. I should make my requests gently of elders.
You should. Anyway, one moment. Jacob, this is Alvin. Alvin, this is Jacob.
Pleasure to meet you, Jacob.
Play nice.
Wave has spoken decently of you.
Any lingering pain quickly seems to fade away, probably to vampiric healing. Anyway, he says as he dusts off his jacket, what can I do for you?
Well, as you may already be aware of, I am the owner of the Daily Bagel down in University Side. The one that Wave seems to
Waif
enjoy.
likes to talk about it a lot.
Yeah. Well, I am trying to get it adapted for nightlife, and so I'm trying to make stops to each of the clans to get a sense of how one might better cater to each of your individual interests or needs.
Reasonable idea, but I will tell you that that can vary as much by the person as it can by the clan.
Absolutely true, but at least getting a general sense of commonalities is a good place to start. We can think about the individual as we go.
I'll admit I'm not the most typical of my blood, but generally, you probably want a reasonably casual environment for most of them.
That's fair. The intent is to have something of a evening cafe slash, pick your own room, get some movies, use the internet that's newly blossoming.
A point to embrace mortal relaxation.
To a certain degree, but also to have place where you might be able to have a little more privatized deals, seek some information that you might not have had access to before, things of that nature.
Hmm.
And
I
it's always
believe I
best to have
understand this idea of yours.
yes.
Sounds intriguing.
It's also just another good thing to have a additional sanctuary where our kind can mingle, do business, or any other form of activity without
And
prying
without
on.
all the flowery words, a good way for a young adventurer such as yourself to put out their own feelers and roots.
Indeed.
Not a blind man. At the
Of
same
course
time,
not.
though, that is how this world works. Something for something. And I think it's a fine idea. And I'm not just saying that because Waif would do things to me if I didn't. And he does look down at the much shorter, much smaller, but clearly much more powerful little Waif.
Completely understand. As I said, I've already spoken to a few of the clans so far. And I wanted to make sure that I got as many opinions as I could before fully diving into this venture.
Of course. May I ask who you've spoken with so far?
Well, I have some feelers that I need to follow up with the Nosferatu, but I did speak with a couple of their kin. I've already spoken with Miss Belmont of the Toreadors. I broached the topic slightly with the Tremere, but it seems that they are a little busy at present time. I'll have to follow that up later. The Malkavians are well aware of my schemes, even if I've not directly spoken to them of it. Kinda gives a light chuckle while looking across the room, probably sees Lyra doing something just as crazy as Olivia might.
Mm-hmm. Actually, speaking of Lyra directly, she seems to be staring off into as if she's staring through a wall in some direction.
Mm. And you would make the next person I've spoken with. That would leave
Hmm.
Ruha and my own clan. But I'm
Hmm.
sure I'll be bringing this up in the reports later for the Ventru.
Yes, I do hear you all have your own little monthly get-together on that note. Probably a good time to bring it up, if not sooner. But as far as things I'm actually allowed to know, I will go ahead and recommend that you do speak with Blaze at your earliest convenience.
That was definitely the intention. It's rare that we get to see so many of our fellow kindred all abouts in the same place.
And it's rare that we get to see a group of young fledglings bring forth the knight's latest execution. Hmm.
Alvin shrugs humbly. We were given a request, and I'm not one to let hanging threads lie.
Hmm. You know, I happen to have some feelers in the whole business, considering Primogen and all, even if that's not by choice. Again, he will look at Waif, who is acting like he doesn't exist as she examines her glass with the most intricate of detail. Hmm. From what I understand, your task was perhaps the most difficult, or at least the most important of the bunch. Odd
So
choice, giving that to you.
So it would be impressed upon me by my sire. Yes, it seems like my initial boot camp was not as much of a test as he would hope.
Boot camp?
Arthur is, in the same way as myself, brought in from military background.
Ah.
Testing one's capabilities and assuring that you are proper for the task is quite normal. So, to be given the most difficult task to prove that I am up to the medal is quite in his pocket of interest.
One would almost call it sabotage, but look where you stand now, successful.
It was not just an effort of my own. I have very capable compatriots, to say the least.
Certainly, but I imagine that's where many will look to is yourself.
Which is honestly folly for the rest of them. But they're allowed to look, make their assumptions.
Yes. From my own perspective, never underestimate a Nosferatu, nor a Malkavian.
As I said, the case would not have been as closed in as quick of time without each of their independent efforts. I might have nudged things in a certain direction every once in a while, but I lack the supernatural capabilities that some of my fellows have.
Well stated. But yes, I approve of this. I think it would do well to have another place that those of different taste might be able to gather. And I have been meaning to catch up on some of the latest movies. There never seems to be enough time in the night.
Never does. That said, if you have any further interests or concerns that come from Clan Gangrel and are in need of ideas or someone to commiserate, as he kind of looks down to Waif, the Daily Bagels doors are open.
Of course. Assuming I am not dragged there behind a truck that's the size of a smallish person. And he says that as if he's expecting the smallest person to explode, like the force of a nuclear bomb. Then I'm so sure I will make my way there eventually.
It was a pleasure to meet your acquaintance finally, Jacob. I do hope that you get to enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yes, well, unless I'm busy, next time, please do so directly.
I will do, now that we're genuinely acquainted.
Are you two done yet?
Yes, Waif, my apologies for boring you. I suppose that I should go find Blaze at this moment before you concoct something else that you need.
She nods before promptly pulling Jacob down by an arm and giving him a pat on the head as if he's a good boy. That should be, by the way, enough time for, assuming they're heading to Alvin, Ashley and Olivia to make their way across the room.
Yep, I think that's where we're going to head first.
To the root mom with the problems.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Nah, they've already talked. They've already talked to their adult. They don't need me.
They don't need another adult.
Well, this adult has a business that might get affected by it, so it's necessary.
I don't have a business that will be affected by your shenanigans.
Also fun times,
bashful
because
ass.
Ashley doesn't know that Alvin is already acquainted with one of the Giovanni.
What? Just kidding. My character knows that because she was there with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised
Olivia
you didn't
does.
bring it
Ashley
up.
does not. Yep. It probably got forgotten off to the wayside because obviously everyone already knows that. That's probably how it worked in the Malkavian mind.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way to go talk to Blaze.
And you're interrupted by two of your fellow coterie members, yes.
I'm not interrupted until they speak words, sir.
Alvin,
Right.
look at my pinky toe. I painted it blue.
Why?
Oh, I just wanted your attention. I did nothing to my pinky toe yet. I was gonna make a guillotine ring for it, though. Anyway.
You have fun with that.
Whoop. You want one? I can make you one.
No. Olivia.
Make sure it has
what-
no blade in it this time.
Olivia, what is it that you need? I'm kind of
Me and
in
Ashley need to
transit.
talk to you like adults. Well, she
Alvin
needs to talk to
raised-
you like an adult. I'm a child.
Ashley's just gonna
Alvin
pat.
raises an eyebrow.
And Ashley's just gonna pat Olivia's head like, "You're adorable. Calm down.
Fine.
Just because death is knocking doesn't mean you have to be so cute. Stop."
All right, you two, go get a room.
We're in a room. Anyway.
Yeah, so we can make out here if we wanted.
We have
Wait.
more to put on that list of talking about than just Olivia. So
Okay.
Yeah,
That-
buddy.
we need to
I
get
got
out
2
of here
versions.
soon. We should
Yep.
find
Look,
you do
we're
your
not-
business, but we need to get out of here soon.
I hear you, but we're not allowed to leave until the prince basically says that we're good. We still have to be received by him.
Could I just tap his shoulder and be like, "Sir, I need to go make a guillotine for myself. Please let me go."
If you skip out on the prince's council, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Okay.
He might like a
fine.
shiny new guillotine, though.
No,
I
he
can
would
make him
use
one.
That's not the point. Ashley, Olivia, I understand that both of you have things that you wish to speak about, and we will certainly get to that.
Okay.
Trust me, we will get to that.
Well, Coffee Breath has spoken. Thank you.
We just have to wait until tonight's meeting is over. Make the best time of it. If you need something that I can fix right this moment, we could talk about that.
Okay.
But if I
Okay.
can't do anything right this moment,
Right
Well,
this
I'm
moment, I'm going to take Olivia and we're gonna go dance and hope to God that Giovanni doesn't kill me. So
Ooh,
have fun.
I can do the Russian dance to the classical music.
you know
You didn't
where I'm
actually
at.
tell him what was wrong, but you just now said before Giovanni kills me.
Ashley,
Yes.
you need me to back you up. You simply ask, alright? I'm in the room. You just give me a signal.
I will stomp on Olivia's foot so it will be as loud as possible of a siren.
Hey, wait, Ashley. I can just telepathically call him
Or
to
do
not
that.
make a scene.
Or do that,
I'll
but
also be sure to snag Pius, because if you're in trouble, then that's a coterie problem.
it might be a coterie and clan Tremere problem if it happens in this room. So it might not happen in this room.
It probably shouldn't. Doing something stupid in the Prince's Council room is kind of the worst mistake you can make. You saw what Victor did just now.
And
Yeah.
if he tries anything to you, Ashley, I'll lick his good eyeball.
I don't think that eyeball will taste like lollipops.
God damn it. Okay.
Alright.
I'll still
Sorry,
have your
it's-
back.
Extra things to talk about later.
So where are the three of you each heading?
I think
They
he
said
was.
they want to go dance.
Yeah, I was gonna go dance, and he said he was going to Blaze.
Two of you are dancing. Two of
Mhm.
you are dancing. Alvin is heading to Blaze. Pius. What is Pius up to at the moment?
He probably just got done running through most of the bands that he feel are the best around in this time period. He
Tobias
probably
has to
starts
stay out of
scanning.
information overload.
Yeah, he's pretty much eyes rolling in the back of his head, trying to file everything. So Pius will probably see the two girls dancing and want none of that and go to find Alvin.
He's just in transit. Probably you can catch him.
Yep. Absolutely. Alvin, your advance to Blaze is cut off by another coterie member.
Pius would just, as while Alvin's walking, he'll just get beside him and walk beside him, and just nudge him and say, "I'm bored."
Oh, I thought you were having fun with your new little brother figure.
He started to update, and I had to walk away.
Ah, I see. You were catching him up in today's culture, so I'm guessing that there was a bit too much.
I think so.
That, yeah, no, it's a little creepy that we got a kid walking around.
Yeah, once the look of shell shock wears off, I'll go back to explaining how I feel like the new version of Rock is probably going to be something big.
I know it's gonna be something big. We're gonna have something awesome coming our way.
I
can
feel it.
feel it.
Hmm.
Just imagine if they start figuring out how to fuse rock and that synth stuff that they started in the 80s.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And they
those Germans and Russians know how to use their synths.
that they do. I'm heading to meet
While
another
I hate
Trinity.
to interrupt what seems to be an illuminating conversation, how do you do this evening, Valdric?
Oh, hey Thomas.
I find myself with a moment in which my sire is completely and utterly busy. So I figured I'd come over and make the polite gesture of saying hello.
Well, certainly one face after another. Pius, this is the infamous Thomas Reynolds.
Charmed.
Thomas, this is Pius.
Nice to meet
Hmm.
you.
Coder number.
Oh, and while we are exchanging pleasantries, this is one of my coterie members, Freddie Stonewell, the Toreador. I believe I briefly mentioned earlier.
Greetings, Freddie.
Freddie, this is Alvin Valdric, who I've also mentioned to you before, I'm sure. Yep, lots of that conversation. So, how are you? What can I do for you? Oh, wait, nope, wrong way around. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Freddie. He'll hold his hand out to shake.
Let him
Pius
take
would
it.
shake his hand. Oh, they'll both
No,
take
we
it
both do
at the
it.
same
Yep.
time.
You
Yeah,
take one. You take one side. I take the other. He gets a dual handshake.
he
Alvin just kind
rolls
of
with it
chuckles.
so incredibly well that you can't even detect a hint of like surprise or being caught off guard. Well, wonderful to meet you both. And just to be clear, Alvin Pius. Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Has anyone
Get to
ever
know the
told you
names.
before, Freddie, that you look like an actor? What's his name? And he starts snapping his fingers.
McConaughey.
John Stamos. There we go.
Oh.
John Stamos. Actually, now that you mention it, I have heard that somewhat recently.
Good. It's a compliment. It's a compliment.
Of course it is. I take it as one. I was a bit of a drama kid growing up, but then I turned to some more realistic, real world expectations. And then, of course, I got picked up by this whole business. Got to meet Thomas, though. He's a swell guy.
Not bad. I gotta ask, what's it like having Alina as a as a sire?
Well, fortunately for you, I'm not offended. Believe me. There are so many people that meet me and want to know, and I see the question burning deep in their eyes, and they never bother opening their mouth to state it.
Oh no, I've heard she's a swell person in certain circles. It's just
Oh
it's
yes,
a
yes, but you
mere
don't want to.
curiosity.
You don't want to run the risk of angering the one who's going to remember it and make your social life a living hell for the next 50 years or so until she gets bored.
Alvin kind of looks at the girls at the dance floor. Nah, I think I'm all right. One of my coterie already kind of danced that dance, and things seem to have gone well. So
Oh yeah, I heard Olivia, right?
yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, my sire spoke about her once. Seemed to like her. Seemed to go well, which, believe me, is just speaking about anyone in a positive tone is generally a very good standing to be having when it comes to my sire. Thomas should know. Thomas just gives a nod, but you can't really tell if it was good or bad. But figure you'd have already heard more if it was bad. It would have made the rounds, surely.
Surely. We're just
But yeah,
coming to
you want to
confront
know what it's
ourselves.
like going. You want to know what it's like growing up under her in that sense? Like, well, not growing because none of us are doing any growing anymore. Am I right? But
Right.
sorry. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you just gotta be on. You just really gotta be on top of everything, like fashion. That means mortal and kindred fashion, because believe me, those are two separate categories, and they differ so much.
Must be
And I
such
don't
a
just mean
boon.
between kindred and mortal. I mean like where that kindred's from, when they were born, what their favorite time period is, what they are feeling like this time of the month. That's sort of specific. Go.
Alvin,
You have to
detective.
keep up on all of that, and also, of course, the little
While Freddy's
details.
talking, Alvin just kind of side glances to Pius and then, just looks over to Thomas like it must be such a boon to have someone like Thomas in the fashion field to keep you on the up and up with new suits or
Oh,
things of that.
absolutely. Check out these threads. Hmm.
Mm.
And he'll gesture to his jacket, give a nod, a radiant nod of thank you, dude, to Thomas off to one side. But despite the overwhelmingly jubilant and extroverted nature of his companion, it's also somewhat easy, potentially, to see that why Thomas can get along with such an individual. He's a socialite, sure, but there's
Mhm.
nothing overwhelmingly detracting about it, aside from the fact he likes to ramble. And well, I won't waste your time with the introductions, because I'm sure you're quite busy. But over that way, and he will point off to one end of the area where you can see the very, very easy to see standing out in the crowd. PJ Hickerson is chatting with someone. That is our PJ Hickerson, and yes, he does, in fact, demand to be called by PJ. I don't even know what his names are. It's just PJ. I think it was even legally changed to that before his embrace. But he is our resident gangrel, and I believe that young lady over there, Echo, as she prefers to be called, out of common cause and camaraderie, I won't share with you her real name, but she's our resident Bruja member. Just so you have the faces go with the names. The names go with the faces.
A delight.
Well, while I'm sure that you have plenty to get done this evening, so do I, and I won't take up any more of your time. And besides, I'm sure my sire's about to free himself from whatever he's busy with soon, and, well, no offense, it would be best if we weren't looking as having spoken too much together right now.
I'm sure we'll have more time to share further words later.
Out
Still
the
owe you a drink.
corner of Pius's eye, he caught Tobias start to twitch again. He runs off.
Ah,
Sadly, before you can completely run off, someone else reaches the two of you first. Which is a shame because Alvin was just like, yes, this is my opening. I'm going to go talk to Blaze. But no, you're not. I deny you. I deny you so freaking hard. Because eventually you are approached by the familiar face of the Prince's Ghoul, Detective Alex Jones. Much like the night you met him at the crime scene, his face is all business. But perhaps even more so now. Valdric, gather your fellows. The Prince will see you now. And you both know that while it's nothing bad, it's certainly not an offer.
understood.
I guess Dick Tracy's serious.
Our character, who's Dick Tracy?
A detective back in the day, a Marvel
Yeah.
superhero.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know all the superheroes, man. I don't. Hmm.
It was either between Constantine and Dick Tracy, but Dick Tracy's older than Constantine, so it would be more relevant.
Accurate.
And joys of hair metal and how Area Smith will do. I didn't catch all this until just now, but yeah, will never be full. Never anyway. So it's so good. This is such good stuff. I need to read the side bits more often.
You
Okay.
want too much.
Yeah, I do. But fortunately, I can sit down and read them now while y'all get yourselves together. Go, Alvin, go. Be group dad / mom / big brother.
Alvin's gonna look at Pius and go, "Do you mind snagging the girls real quick? I'm gonna drop a note off with somebody as
second.
we collect."
Don't come get us. No, you can't.
It might take him a minute. Pius might take the long way.
Pius gets down to where his left toe is touching the floor and his right knee is touching the floor, and he just mad sprints towards Olivia and Ashley.
Oh shit. Do we see that?
Probably.
You don't see the predator coming.
I mean, he just starts barreling through the group.
You attract a lot of attention.
Meanwhile, as he's doing that, Alvin's just writing a general, like, small little scribble of a note to pass off to Blaze before they're eventually taken to the prince's chamber. All it really is like, it's more of a, hello, I'd like to get to talk to you at some point, but I'm being summoned, so maybe another time.
Pius would stare Olivia dead in the eyes, breathing hard from his mad sprint, and just point over at Alvin that's walking with the group away from us.
Do you need help?
No, we have to follow. We have to. Something's important is happening.
Oh, okay. Olivia grabs Ashley's hand and starts following Pius back to Alvin. No questions asked.
Yep, Ashley will just keep walking.
All right. We're gonna walk by the Tobias real quick, and when I finish my sentence, Olivia, I want you to repeat the word spam. Okay?
Spam?
But you have to spam like the canned food spam.
Spam. Okay.
All right. All right. We're about to cross them right now. All right. Hey Tobias, when we're done, I have to finish teaching you all the ways to make spam. I don't know if you've heard of this yet. Now say
Spam.
Spam?
Spam, and then we just
Spam.
keep walking. Let him leave. Yep, we leave with that image in his head. Now he's gonna wonder what spam is.
Because he hasn't eaten actual food probably since the 1890s.
Ever, yeah.
Hmm.
And the fact that we now take the scraps of meat from the processing plant and grind it into this slab of block meat.
And where in parts of the world it's treated as the most luxury food ever.
Yes.
Looking at you, Pacific Islanders. Looking at you. Who here had to eat spam when they were kids growing up?
I still
Me.
eat spam.
I even had it as sushi.
Okay,
in
something's
Hawaii.
wrong with you, but yes, I have.
Yep, I'll still get a thing of spam every now and then.
So, Pius, you have not only drawn lots of attention to yourself, but you now are presumably pulling the girls in tow, not necessarily physically, but definitely kind of dragging them along to some sort of non-physical pull.
Yes. We would eventually make our way to Alvin and the rest.
That check-in is in his?
Weirdly,
Wait.
Pius finds it interesting that he's a little bit more open rather than keeping things in. It seems like ever since he had to snap that neck, he's had more of like a change within him, giving up on some of his like closer values.
Indeed.
Wait.
Also, Blaze will take that note, Alvin. He'll look down at it, but he won't read it just yet. He'll put it off in his pocket and then give you a nod as he reads your face to make sure it's not immediately important.
Alvin would say, I'm currently being summoned, but that'll explain it.
Wait. Whose jacket isn't his?
One moment, I have
Olivia's
to
like
check some
talking to
meat.
herself. She's hearing the voices. She's like, whose jacket? Like, why isn't it his?
You
Got some
okay,
screws
Olivia?
loose. Huh?
Right?
Yeah, someone is wearing a jacket that's not theirs.
I'm wearing my jacket, so it's not me.
It's a male. It's somebody who's wearing a
It's
jacket.
It's the detective. He's wearing the princess jacket.
What? Rats in sewer suits, drenched in orphan tears, sewer suits. Rats. Why are they drenched? Who's the orphan? Wait.
Now I gotta go find this damn it stuff.
Wait, what?
I gotta link something because reasons.
Oh god. Ashley, I smell drenched orphan tears. I meant there's someone who's an orphan.
Orphan, or well, I mean, technically, I'm an orphan, but who else is an orphan?
Do you live in the sewers though?
No, that would be a Pious.
You do
Pi-
not smell it. Pious?
Pious is sewer.
Pious? Are you
Is he an
orphan?
orphan? I don't know if is Pious an orphan.
How does Pius feel about them talking about his status behind him?
He is upstairs.
She's trying to
Give me a
get
second.
her. Yeah, Olivia's trying to get his attention. Like,
Oh.
wait, I don't know. Is this
What
about
was
you
that,
and
Anna?
Will?
Upstairs at the moment. Hold on.
Oh, okay, that's why he's missing out on this.
Oh.
Okay, why isn't he responding?
Wait, did you link the thing, Nick? Oh.
Orphan Tears full trilogy, apparently.
Oh my god. Oh dear lord.
It was
Are
a
you
weekend,
kidding?
and you can't stop us from going to the
gotta watch
local
that
dance
later.
spot. Instead of drinking imported beer, somebody brought a bottle of
You were
orphan
talking
tears.
about it, and it got stuck in my head. I'm like, oh god, I can't not put.
Oh jeez.
Rats in the sewers, suits drenched in orphan tears. I bet it's Pious, who's not even here. Oh, and I forgot to take a blood point for the night. Oh wait, this is still the same night. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same night.
Okay, then we don't take a point off.
Not yet.
Well, considering we're about to go to the Prince anyway, I'm definitely waiting until Pius gets back.
Yeah.
Tobias.
Pius.
There you go.
Also,
Awesome. Question:
as a side
Did you
note,
happen
well,
to get the? Did you happen to get the list of options?
What do you mean?
So we were, like, hey, we're not exactly sure what to ask the prince for.
I did not know.
Okay.
I was too busy trying to find where I may have said that certain Tremere wallflowers didn't have a coterie and didn't go outside. But at the moment, I'm going to accept that I probably said that somewhere, and I am going to officially say I am retconning that because I can, and because if I don't, I'll have to make up more Tremere, and we already have too many Tremere.
Her.
Also because it better fits the overall setup of the story and setting. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
It was like in the first couple episodes.
Yep.
I'm
It's like
back.
we-
Because back then I hadn't gone through the whole effort of actually putting together all the other coteries that got put together when yours did.
Yeah, it was definitely before we captured the Fordon Butcher. So
I still have to add 2 more coteries, but I'll do that work later.
that's future Andrew Probes.
That is indeed future Andrew problems. Okay, Pius, you're here. Olivia's been rambling about the weirdest things, and you're assuming it's probably directed at you, even if she hasn't realized it yet.
Talking about sipping on orphan tears, apparently.
No. She's not drinking any orphan tears. No, the line was rats in sewer suits drenched in orphan tears, and she just started rambling on it because it filtered into her head.
And jackets that aren't theirs.
Yeah, it's like,
Uh.
whose jacket? Who's wearing a jacket that's not theirs? And rats in sewer drenched in orphan. Do I smell orphan tears?
And then who's an orphan? Which now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, gee, who is the orphan? But in any case, the 4 of you are reconvened and being shown towards a new hallway. Oh, let me get my notes.
We're all gonna die.
Perhaps this room definitely won't make you feel any better about that possibility. Once together, you're shown to a smaller hall off to one side. It looks well decorated, but it is hard to see for sure, given how all the lights are off. The only source of light preventing absolute darkness are the lights coming through the window, as well as from the short connecting hall that led you here. The silhouette of Prince Wood stands by one of the windows, looking out on the city out on the far side of the room, with the looming monolith of Sheriff Victor standing to one side in the corner. It's not hard at all to remember the way he tore into the Fordon Butcher earlier this night, and all the spilled vita that followed. In spite of that, his suit looks spotless, or does at least as well as you can tell in the dim room. Welcome, the prince greets, though doesn't quite turn around. Valdric of my blood, Foster of Malkavian, Savano of Tremere, and Brisbane of Nosferatu. Now he turns, though his face remains shrouded in the deepened shadows of the room. I apologize for the lack of light, but I find it a soothing relief, a brief quiet from the endless dance out there. You have all done, by all reports and available information, quite splendidly. While I never had reason to doubt your eventual success, I will readily admit I anticipated another bloodless body or two to drop before that occurred. Instead, despite being given what was, in all rare honesty, the hardest assignment, or at least the most important one, you were the very first to be done. In spite of the relative newness of yourselves to the blood, you have done this domain a fine service. And I am in the habit of rewarding those who serve my domain well, which brings us back to the obvious. What is it that the 4 of you would desire? Prince Woods holds up a hand. Make no mistake, this is not by any means a proper boon owed. Not even close. But if there is something I can do that doesn't go beyond certain bounds, this would be the time to ask.
This is where a list of options popping up on our proverbial UI HUDs would be fantastic for this Bloodlines campaign.
Mhm.
Vampire. Yeah. It absolutely would. And I do apologize, but I might have thought of that last time when I was frantically trying to prepare with too little sleep. But it's been 2 weeks, man. I did not remember that at all.
I hear ya.
I'm absolutely sorry.
Well,
And
what
I'm
do
not
we
saying
even
this because
want,
I'm
guys?
not saying this because I'm blaming you, because I'm not. It's entirely my fault. But please, in the future, like the day before, and I said I would make a list or something. Just give me a little nudge, because I absolutely need it.
No, I hear you. That's why I poke at you guys to remind me of things for other games. So it's one of those things where it's like, as you said, this isn't a boon that we're getting, but it's still definitely like what is the
A
group
favor.
line?
Yeah, because a boon tends to be a very serious thing amongst kindred society. This is just a favor. You've already gotten part of your reward in the immaterial bonus of having a dot of status applied to each of your characters. So now you're not just nameless fledglings, you're actually people that people in the city probably have heard of or know. But now it's time for a group discussion. Because this is a group reward. Make no mistake.
I would like him to shake Olivia's hand and say thank you without disdain.
I mean, he did kind of give a relatively like.
I want him to acknowledge her directly.
I think he did that the last time y'all met.
No,
again.
not really. Not really.
Yeah, actually he did in
He
the
did, yeah.
in the
He
last
did.
bit when we gave him the body of the Fordon Butcher, he did thank her directly for her contribution before leaving the room. With
He
a
did.
smile,
I
by the
forgot.
way.
I forgot all about that.
So yes,
Never mind.
I remember
That has
that.
been fulfilled.
I don't remember much, but I remember that one. So that's fulfilled, but it needs to be a group thing. What's gonna do well for our coterie? Like, do we need information on someone? Do
you need access to something? Do you need anything in
like
particular? That sort of thing.
Let's do a rundown real quick.
Nick made a mention of the Stormer's Den being something for protection, basically. It couples as a business and a protection boon. So, like a material, but that's one option that was on the table.
That was on the table from Arthur, not necessarily the prince.
Oh, I thought it was something we were asking for from the prince. I forgot that it was for Arthur. Never mind.
So that's why I want to do a rundown real quick. So in terms of like Pius's personal goals here, most of that I'm guessing is going to come out of Lynnet, right? In terms of like your pursuits, like that's hush hush under the table, like
Pius's end game goal might involve the prince, but right now it's about Lynette.
Right.
Are you planning on becoming the prince at the end of a very long campaign?
Oh God, no.
He wants he's got bigger things than the prince, and it's like me and him have discussed it a bit, and it's like super long term end game leaving Seattle probability type stuff.
Do we need
not really. Well, I guess he could, but as long as someone outside of Seattle is there with the knowledge that he needs, or at least an inkling or a hint to something that he's looking for, then that's all Pius needs. He wouldn't have to leave. He just wants to know a location of two things.
Well, soon enough you'll be able
One
to ask
is
the
the
dead.
location of a myth. The other is a location of an heir, I guess you could say.
Then with Ashley, like what is it that Ashley is actually trying to accomplish for like her setup kind of thing? Because I know Thorn's kind of like, hey, you're a prodigy, and like this is what my deal is. And outside of the most recent revelations, like what is it that Ashley's actually been going for?
She's trying to become as powerful as she possibly can. She
Yay.
doesn't really have a end goal. She just wants to be able to protect when she needs to, or
So
whatever.
So, Anthony.
No.
Realistically, Ashley's goal would be behooved by some sort of access to private archives that we don't have access to then.
Probably.
All right. And then Olivia, in terms of like her goals, you know.
Well, outside of the whole thinking she's in a dream and trying to wake up from it, if she's gonna be stuck here, two of the goals that she has is hone in on her oracle type abilities and become an ungovernable vampire in a way.
Interesting. Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, Alvin's
You and
looking
Pius have somewhat similar goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin's looking to climb the ladder himself and maybe remove a few individuals on the way, but for what it sounds like right now as a collective group, what each of us are probably looking for is maybe a prospective mentor that's not necessarily a part of our clan. Or
Mhm.
maybe it might be part of our clan, but it's connections that we're kind of looking for at the moment.
Or
So maybe
what about a status upgrade? Like our status upgrade to where we're allowed more access than what we're allowed now?
I mean, we did just get one, which is going to get us something. And it's kind of an unspoken, oh, they did this, so people are going to talk about us. And I don't necessarily know that the prince would be able to do more than that outside of, like, give us a designated, like, station or rank kind of thing. Like, we put ourselves in service.
Most designated stations or ranks inside a court are all typically important positions. The assistants to those positions don't generally have a rank or name to go by them, aside from the sheriff's bully boys.
So, like, I like where your headspace is at on that, Dave, in terms of, like, getting more status, but I think the only way that we're gonna do that is by actually, like, brushing shoulders with other kindred.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But if he could, like, give us some references for some of the goals that we're kind of after, since we're new, and he does have, like, the purview of the city, hey, these are people of note that might be of interest. It's a point in the right direction, but not him necessarily having to bend over backwards to, like, make them ingratiated to us, right? Like he said, it's not a boon, but it's still a gift of sorts. So knowledge for each of us to, like, pursue some of those avenues might be useful.
We want Anthony.
Oh god. That guy.
So, like, for example, if we ask for mentors or people of
Oh,
interest,
can we have Tobias? Can I keep Tobias? Let me keep Tobias?
Please,
Are you
Dad.
actually going to say that in a bursting character?
If Pius is speaking it out, probably. Let me have Tobias. I want to take him home.
Oh my god, that
He will teach me and I will teach him.
Are you saying this in character?
While looking at the door, hopefully Tobias can hear him shouting. No, I'm just playing. He's not saying that.
that is a conversation for the Tremere.
Imagine the look on Tobias's face, like, what?
Yes, there's
I see
several
that you
hundred.
are all deep in thought over this, and that is good. Some suggestions that I can think of off the top of my head, if that might help. Perhaps you need a new vehicle, or a proper retainer, maybe a new haven somewhere.
It's funny, a vehicle crossed my mind.
Well, if it did, your mind would be dead, probably. Out of character, that was me, not the prince. My first Halo name tag was a vehicle.
Man,
You were killed by a vehicle.
Here, I was kind of hoping that the prince had some humor. Damn. But no,
Does, but not
I'm
that
actually
kind.
I'm actually fairly serious about like the mentor mentality. Is like if Olivia's looking for someone to help her with her oracular things, if Pius is looking for information in terms of like vampiric hierarchy, so he didn't get an education in the same way that like Ashley and Alvin did. Maybe having someone that is willing to like go through vampiric history and maybe particularly
Yeah,
Nosferatu
if
history.
Pius could figure out how real and true history is from the starting of Cain, then it will help him immensely.
That is a dangerous road to walk down for Curiously.
It sure is.
Especially since the Camarilla official, at least on the official side, denies the existence of Cain and the antediluvians.
The moment that story was told to Pius in his first embracement when he was taken to the sewers, it set him on a goal.
I mean,
Well, trying to meet Cain. I believe he's
guess
currently a
kind of.
taxi driver in Los Angeles.
He doesn't want to. if there's a chance to come across Cain, that would be cool. But
You
mainly when
probably
it comes
wouldn't
to,
remember if you did.
like I said, it's super
but
late game
he's trying to
stuff.
figure out if he's real or not, as in like factual, not just lore, because vampires and people just like to make things up.
Well, they say he wrote the original Book of Nod, so there's always that to go chasing after, but
Well,
you might not be aware of that yet.
And in the same lore, they say God spoke to a man and he wrote it down in a book. So,
Well, I will remind you that at least in the old world of darkness, which we are playing in, if the myth of Cain is true, then it is absolutely an Abrahamic-based background. Though where all that went afterwards is, of course, entirely up to question.
and as for the secondary objective, he knows that thing is real. He just has to know where that real thing is at.
But the Prince probably can't help you with that. Probably. Not without a lot of effort, which would be more like a boon than a favor.
Nope, Cassandra and Donovan would be the only ones that would be able to help me on that route. As for Cain, that's anyone could help me on that has knowledge.
Please, by all means, speak your minds with respect.
I think everybody here is looking for knowledge in some way, shape, or form, right? Do we just want to see what kind of archive of knowledge he might be willing to allow us limited access to?
Do we have a library that vampires use for knowledge?
Outside of
One
I
of you
don't know.
does. Technically, two of you, if you count Pius through Lynette. But those also typically have very certain sorts of knowledges.
Yep.
A haven would be nice too. I know we have the bagel, but a secondary haven would be kind of cool too, as like a front post.
Of course, it would also have the downside of the Prince knowing where that haven is if you wanted it to be a secret haven.
By all technical standards, if he's looking to grant us a haven, I technically don't even need to ask Arthur of the Boon to take out the Stormer's Den.
That would not be a haven. That would be an actual thing. So think of haven. Think of it like one of the apartments you get in the Bloodlines game, sort of thing.
Never played it, so couldn't say.
Right. Think at most an upscale condo.
Gotcha.
It'd be like the solitude house that the little orphan kids are in.
And we get back to orphan tears.
But yeah, if you want to phrase it as in you would like not necessarily so much as an additional mentor, but a source of knowledge or potential training, you could ask for that, and he could put out some feelers if that's the way you want it to go. It wouldn't be an overnight immediate thing, certainly.
What you think,
Probably.
team? We could get a haven. We could get some extended knowledge. What's the vibes?
I vote knowledge, just because I don't think a haven's going to do too much extra, especially if the prince knows where it's at.
And you can easily acquire a haven on your own. It's not a domain after all. It's just a place where you lay your head during the day that you try to make secure, presumably.
And don't if we go MIA with like a secret haven, won't the prince be like, what the hell anyway?
Well, no, I mean people only always get together at things like this, where it's like a full courts thing. As long as you show up at various places, people don't generally ask where your haven is, at least not out loud, unless they're plotting against you.
Okay, and that's how we get people like the Dawn Butcher, because we don't always keep tabs on all the vampires.
Well, see,
Oh,
therein
tab.
lies the
So,
thing:
yeah.
is every vampire who strolls into Seattle is supposed to present themselves to the prince, so that way we know who's in the city. If you don't and you're caught, then that can be big trouble for you. That's when
We shouldn't
Victor and
even
his
be
goons.
worrying about hiding from the prince. Just, I mean, the haven is a haven,
Right.
whether he knows
Right.
it's there or not.
Right.
Oh, I was just trying to think of the redundancy of putting the prince knowing where we're at in the equation.
Right. No, I hear you.
In the meanwhile, let me see here. Yep. One moment. I'm going to go ahead and declare a 5-minute break because I need to dash to the bathroom and get a refill on water.
Yes, I must do parenting things real quick as well.
Do parenting things.
Alright, I suppose I'll take a piss then. That little shit.
What?
Frankie.
Hello, everyone. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Was your mandatory parenting successful?
Yes.
Is everyone here, or are we still missing someone?
I think Nick went to the bathroom.
That is fair and fine. Just remember to continue to bask in the awesomeness of your little bat neon light.
I freaking love it. I have it on all the time.
Although I think that jacket is the best.
Oh, the hoodie that Anna made?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I wear that from time to time. I try not to like wear it too often because I don't want to because washing stuff like that, I'm afraid like the print is gonna come off, so I'm
And it
trying not.
will wear out eventually, so yeah.
Mhm.
Just,
Yeah. So I try to keep it for more decoration.
You could probably wash it and just like hang dry it, and it should be a little bit better.
Okay. Definitely.
wash it inside a pillowcase.
Oh. Or inside out. That might even help. Maybe.
I didn't think about that.
I added another document to the thread in the chantry. I have to add some things to it still, but I just wanted to mention it.
Of course. His bonded servant is experienced enough not to so suddenly interrupt proceedings without due cause. He leans in to whisper in Woods' ear, and the prince's fake face darkens immediately before dismissing his ghoul. It seems that there will be no further time for discussions or any further questions. Come, we return to the main hall. We will have to reschedule this for later.
We'll wordlessly follow.
Once back in the main ballroom, you're left to head wherever you are to head as the prince takes to the, if you want to call it that, the head of the room. The fact that he is walking up there alone sort of starts to quiet things down, and there are no voices left after he raises a hand. Just once, and only for a moment. All of you, I'm afraid I must interrupt our otherwise enjoyable evening with some considerably darker news. As of an hour ago, there has been signs of the Sabbat making their return to Seattle. It was found that someone with the amount of blood coming from multiple dead kine, even if bodies were not found at the scene, carved their wretched sword of Cain into the side of a large building. I don't know how many of them there are, or in what force or numbers they've arrived in. But such a thing is not done lightly, and they can only intend to renew their war for Seattle. As such, with this renewed call to struggle, perhaps sooner than any of us would have liked, I will admit, I advise all of you to be very careful. Do not travel on your own if possible. Whether that's with retainers or those you trust to call coterie, or other associates. I advise you all to see to your own domains, and especially your own havens, that they might be properly secure against potential attacks. The last time Sabat came for the city of Seattle, there was a room about this full. And the last time they were removed, about half this many remained. I have no intention of seeing it get that bad this time. So please, until further notice or instructions or otherwise make it to each of you, do your part and exercise due diligence and vigilance. These beasts that forsake any notions of even remaining to appear human and indulge in their most basest, darkest, most vile desires, all in the name of so-called Cain and slaying the mythical antediluvians, along with other religious babble and their own blood festivals. Well, it's the absolute worst side of our existence. Depart for your dwellings or havens immediately, and ensure yourselves are safe. You are all dismissed until you hear from me or mine again. For now, we are at war.
I will make the note that Alvin will be doing his best to leave without the notice of Arthur.
Ooh. How would you plan to get back to the bagel?
Never mind.
Straight,
Lynette wouldn't let me.
straight up, like Alvin, like might signal to like his coterie that he's leaving, but he's not.
But you might have forgotten a bit. I believe there was the desire for a coterie meeting to occur after this whole assembly.
Oh, I 100% know that. Alvin knows that. Alvin's just not trying to sidle a ride back with his sire.
Fair enough.
Nor is he necessarily trying to draw his sire's attention either.
Would Ashley be able to commandeer a ride from the clan?
If you wish to head back to the Chantry rather than heading to the bagel, yes.
Then no.
Of course, there's always the sewer route. Pius could probably show you all to where the bagel is via the sewer, but that would be time-consuming.
That picture is amazing.
I got tired looking at the other picture with the black markings on it. Like, all over her face.
I need the full blow up of that. Send that in Discord.
I like the coffee cup. It's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's thanks to Anna, because I've been trying to update her picture, and Anna had a good AI thing to look at.
I demand access to this AI immediately.
It's called Wumbo Dream.
Right. Just put a link in the general. I'll get to that later.
See if I can find it.
You will, and you will do so immediately.
Very fitting.
Kind of like how it turned out.
Mm-hmm. It's subtle. It's like it matches Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Any hoozles. Yeah, no, I'm dipping out.
Mm-hmm. So Alvin's is trying to avoid his sire. What about the rest of you?
Pius will meet up with Cassandra and his sister.
Oh, darling. Good, you're there. Are you all right? You're not frightened, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not frightened.
Yes, well, we're quite safe down in the Warrens. It would take someone a lot of effort to try and find us down there. And even if they were, they'd probably be our kin, sure, on the other side. But, you know what Donovan always says, family is family at the table. Our blood doesn't start fights with our blood, at least not underground. Above ground may be different, but underground is not. In any case, oh, there's your sister. And, yes, you do face the immediate side tackle as Belle jumps on you and then immediately jumps off of you and stands next to you. Oh, brother, you're there. Good. Oh,
How
just
are
like
you handling this? Are we going to be having to fight Cassandra, or are we going to be okay?
it's Belle that answers in her place. I mean, the last time that this all went down, I got jumped and I didn't wake up for nearly 5 years. I don't want to do that again. I just got up.
Okay. Well, we will stand side by side if anything happens.
I'm sure Donovan is already planning all sorts of things, darling. You let him handle that, and he'll let you know if you're needed.
Okay.
Just try and check in fairly regularly, at least once every other night.
Oh yes, until
Going-
this whole Sabat ordeal is blown over, I'm going to be in close contact with you guys.
Good. Someone will have to inform our guest as well.
Yes. I can do that if you want me to, or I can leave it up to you.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a chance, darling. I'm sure you'll have a chance. Meanwhile... Oh, right. Sorry, I have to go. I have to go help with the others. Are you coming back with us, or is there still something you need to do?
I'll travel with you guys.
So you're not going to meet up at the bagel with the others?
I'll eventually make my way there, but I'm going to go to the Warrens.
Okay. Well, you might not have enough time in the evening. Well, you would have time for the evening, but there wouldn't be much time left when you got there, I imagine. Remember, you're going on foot, basically. You're crossing the town of Seattle on foot, possibly twice.
Yeah, no, I was going to spend the night in the Warrens and head out to the bagel in the morning.
Oh, I think y'all are planning on having the bagel meeting tonight.
Oh, okay.
I said tonight or tomorrow.
Yep, but it's also been put off for quite a while, and I know it's been wanting to get discussed at some point. So I just thought that was the idea.
It's been being put off in the sense of like game sessions, but in terms of like actual time, it only just got brought up within this like day.
Fair
Olivia's
enough.
thing happened at the Stormers Den, so that's a couple days.
It was
Oh, yeah,
brought
we
up
can go to
2
the
days
meeting.
late before.
Right, but
I mean,
Alvin didn't know
I'm good
about
with
it.
either or. I just want to know what the party, sort of.
Ashley
Desires.
told Alvin at the Stormers Den.
Yeah, we can go do the meeting.
He was gone from the Stormers Den before she gave that.
No, we came up to you before I had the vision. We were on our way to you and Pius at the bar. We'll have to watch the recording again. Maybe it wasn't said. Maybe that was just between me and Ashley.
I definitely remember it being discussed between you and Ashley. I thought you mentioned it to Alvin, but
Probably not.
I have no issues doing the meeting thing.
We can do it the next session. That's okay. I just...
Oh no, it's going to presumably be this session. It's just whether or not it's happening this in-game night or the next in-game night.
Maybe next game. I think next game night would be better. I agree with Nick about that because we have some stuff going on.
Oh, is that you guys saying you want to end the session a little early?
No, I'm
No,
not
no, no,
saying
no.
that. I was just.
I'm so confused right now. When I say in-game night, then I hear game. I'm confusing myself at this point. I got little birdies with stars above their heads circling my head.
Oh,
No, you're
We
No,
should. I just say we
so-
just go to the bagel, do the meeting, get it out of the way. That way it's settled. We don't
Yeah.
have to carry
Yeah.
on with this.
yeah, we can do it that way. That's fine too. I don't know. Whatever works.
I guess it depends on what time of night it is currently in game. And how much time is left.
Probably about 1 a.m.
Oh, that's early.
Well, the whole assembly began at 10 p.m.
No, right, but like in terms of like how much night is left, got
Yeah, you
another
got like
like
3 or
4 or
4
5
hours.
hours.
But not enough to make 3 trips across the city in case Pius wanted to go back to the Warrens, then go to the Bagel, and then go back to the Warrens.
Oh nope, I want to go to the bagel and do the meeting.
So it's a matter of a ride.
How did we
Oh,
get
yeah.
here?
Well, 2 of you came by limo. 1 of you came by the Tremere car convoy. And another of you came via the sewers.
Oh, okay.
And we're trying to avoid the limo, according to Alvin. So, that probably leaves asking for someone to provide a car, considering you'll have Pius traveling with you, and a taxi is probably out of the question. Or going through the sewers on foot. Or a mix of the two. One of you going through the sewers, the other 3 of you riding in a taxi and waiting for the other at the destination. Or something else I haven't thought of.
Olivia will carry them all and just run them to the Daily Bagel. No, I'm kidding.
That would require a fair bit of blood, I was about to say.
No.
Yeah, Alvin's just trying to like not be caught by his sire. So if
Which-
Pius wants to have us run through the sewer, that's fine.
That's probably about the best solution you've got right now if you want to avoid your sire. So to the sewers?
Mm-hmm.
How many of you have been down into the sewers before, other than Pius?
We technically went into the sewers when we were messing with the Fort on Butcher, so. Because that's where we dragged his ass.
Indeed. Well, now you're in a different, well, mostly different part of the sewer. This is still near the Prince's Court, obviously, so you probably had pulled the Fort on Butcher through here at one point. But the way you have to go now is different. Some of the visible Nosferatu are also heading off down their own separate corridor, branching and echoing footsteps. Some of them have already obfuscated. Others haven't left the room above you yet, but, well, they're not you, and you have business to settle before you can find peace for the night.
While we're walking through the sewers, Pius will show each of them along the sewers. There will be numbers that will correlate to the city's districts, and if you follow them to the right way, going downscaling, you'll make it towards the bagel.
It's useful
Ooh.
knowledge to have.
So if you're ever lost and you're in a high number district, you want to start making your way to a lower number, and you'll make your way towards downtown in the bagel.
Good shit.
Definitely helps to have alternative routes in the event that we don't necessarily want to be minded by the mortals.
Or other things, yes. Oh, I like Ashley and Olivia's continued discussion. It's always adorable.
Mhm.
I was on the journal tab, that's why I didn't see it.
Mhm.
In any case, you will, of course, eventually make your way to the bagel. Boop, 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 boop.
During our traversal, do we think that we're being listened in on at all?
Well, with the Tremere, it's hard to say. I mean, not with the Tremere, but with the Nosferatu, it's hard to say. Though you do have some people that are capable of seeing unseen things, so long as they're not too good at being unseen.
Yes.
Mostly just, how comfortable do we feel about, chatter on the way to the bagel kind of thing? What kind of
Just
chatter might take place?
when you're in the sewers, just know that most Nosferatu, like there's rats everywhere. So if you say something and you're near a rat, a Nosferatu could figure it out
If they wanted to, yes.
if they wanted to. Yeah. So yes, everything you say can be heard.
But whether anyone checks up the so-called figurative recordings of it is like left up in the wind.
Right. Yeah, there's always that chance that someone's like, "Hey, these guys passed through here. I wonder if anyone heard something." They can
Mostly,
inquire.
mostly curiosity of whether or not the girls would say anything on the way back, or if they had questions as to why we're in the sewer or not.
I think we just decided to follow you back to the bagel.
And I'm sure the Nosferatu that we were following with as we were fleeing the area probably would have stopped and questioned us too if they had any concerns.
The way to the Warrens is a different path, and as long as you're not leading them to the Warrens, you're probably fine.
Right, yeah, because we did catch eyes of them bleeding off in a different way, so
Yeah.
we were in close
And-
enough contact for them to see us.
I mean,
Pius definitely knows better than to lead others to the Warrens.
yeah, but he has a good point. It's all right. What do the Nosferatus think of a Malkavian, a Tremere, and a Ventru, who are all relatively nicely dressed to a certain degree, traversing through the sewers?
Yeah.
Definitely catch some glances,
Mm-hmm.
but most of them, at least the ones that are old enough to remember, probably assume it has more to do with not wanting to get caught. Perhaps like you're young and you're more worried about the Sabbat than some of the others are. So
Yeah, we're in a
Trying to-
circumstantial situation.
yep, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's still curious, especially if there's clearly Alvin's not bothered by hopping into the sewers.
Mhm.
Yeah, the what is it? The precautionary feeling is good.
It's not every day that you see fancy pants people in the sewers. That's all.
Oh, agreed. Unless you are seeking something out, you will make it to the bagel unmolested.
Did you hear that, guys? There are molesters in the tunnels.
I was wondering if that's what he said.
That was indeed what I said. You don't know what I got in the GM notes section of some of the Nosferatu.
Pius starts having flashbacks of the times he's woken up to squeakers getting the crumbles of cheese out of his mouth.
The bagel
Alvin,
is just as you left it, locked, and not the sewer entrance is whatever you say it is, I guess. But
it was locked, so it's like Alvin tells
locked.
Pius to about face, and
Pius to do
he'll-
his usual run into to the door.
You rebound off of it at the moment because it's locked shut rather than just being loosely left open.
Yeah, he just
Apologies.
pings off of it. Just, damn it.
Apologies, Pius, but I had to take precautions. Joshua was in a bit of a fit for himself.
I just got the hinges rickety enough to where I could shoulder it open without breaking it.
No. This is where I go back to you break my shit, and we're gonna have some problems.
But I'm on my side of the door.
This entire area is
I'll politely
Hard.
close the door on your side.
No, Pius. You're leaving indentations. Josh was already had to replace the portions of the wall and replastering it and this, that, and the next thing. And I need him out of the basement so that way you can enter not suspiciously.
Pius slams his foot down and says fine while leaving a black scuff on the floor.
You are far too strong for your own good. Don't think you fully realize it.
And not, even though Pius is still the weakest one out of the group.
You're also the only one with potence, which is supernatural strength, so it's kind of like a weird thing. It also makes sense of why you're having problems because like you're used to being a wimp. You know this, you accept this, and now you have something else in you that's absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, but Alvin will like put a hand on his shoulder. Look, do me this favor, and I'll figure out a favor to return.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah.
All right. Alvin will unlock the door and bring everybody into the bagel.
It's quiet, as you expected. No one appears to be here. Nor as you go up, presumably up the. Do you go up to the main room or do you stay down in the basement?
I figure we can stay in the basement. It's probably quieter and less likely to have.
Attract attention.
Uh-huh.
Pius just got sad because he can't do the thing that he does every time he goes upstairs.
Trashing more of his shit.
No, he usually like obfuscates, then opens the door, then closes it, then obfuscates again.
Another night. Downstairs is actually like there are fair few accommodations that are like once you get beyond the main storeroom, decently, equipped enough. Like there's a little cozy like hangout room, and then beyond that's the actual like den for Alvin that is now noticeably locked in multiple facets.
Yep. They could all be broken, but it would be obvious that something had broken them. And you would know that someone had been here doing things.
That said, there is a couch that could comfortably seat like 8 down here.
In another time, in another life, it would reek of marijuana and be called some sort of weird cringe name because it's used as a cult for the spilling secrets stuff.
Yeah. Either way, there's a table, there's, TV remote, maybe a TV guide here and there.
Ooh, the old magazine. I remember those.
Mm-hmm. A few other odds and ends that Alvin clearly uses in order to, like, watch his, VHSs and, this, I don't think that the DVD was quite out
Nope,
yet.
that's a few more years, I think.
Yep, so. Either way, there's space to get comfortable, and Alvin will kind of like gesture for you guys to, make yourselves comfortable.
Ashley's just gonna plop on the couch.
Olivia's sitting on the back of the couch. Sprawled out. As if she's laying on it.
Say, definitely one of those couches that's, like actual fabric, not that weird fake faux leather shit.
Mm-hmm.
All things considered, you all have the floor.
Olivia, I think you should go first.
Okay. So Olivia's gonna address. Well, Ashley already knows about both visions, and she's gonna tell Elvin and Pius about her first vision, which is her dream, and Holy shit, has it been a long time that I don't remember anything about it.
I pinned it for you in your Madness Network section.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want me to recite it again? I can recite it again.
You can if you want.
Excellent. Sorry, I'm just really proud of that little bit. It was one of my little bits I really threw myself into, and it was fun. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
that.
You did a really good job.
Let's see if I can do as well as I did the first 2 times I recited it. Wait, first, water. I need water. There we go. You find yourself traveling through shadows. They take on odd shapes, some darker, others lighter, oddly like party balloons. Mist is everywhere. Clouds of the delightfully red vapor, wet and warm like puffs of damp breath on your skin. You're wearing an odd white summer dress, though it's quickly becoming red. Or perhaps it was always red, only pretending. You're skipping and humming your way through this land of shadows and sweet mist, not able to see much past your immediate self, but not much caring either. There are monsters out there, after all, and so long as you can't see them, they don't see you. Your left hand cradles itself to your chest. 3 floppy hand-sewn friends, each quickly becoming as dyed as you, save for where your arm shelters them. One wears a silly star and moon-patterned robes, holding a stick with a Christmas tree star fastened to one end. Another looks oddly like Frankenstein's monster dressing up as the Phantom of the Opera, or perhaps vice versa, if the mask and neck bolts are anything to go by. The final one wears nothing but a silly little tie patterned with coffee cups, its floppy arms stretched around the other 2, with its little button eyes spread far apart to keep an eye on each of the others. Some of the shadows swirl about you, little party balloon hands filled with ink stretching and tugging on the hem of your dress, ascending higher still. They seem oddly playful until they reach your dollies. One little tendril tries to rip out the 3rd doll's tie, which is rather rude and should have asked to share. Another caresses the 1st doll, before inching backwards, beckoning towards your first hand-sewn friend, causing said friend to start to try to pull itself free to follow. Silly thing. Doesn't it know it's not safe out there? You tighten your grip. You can't let your precious things be hurt so easily, but a sudden piercing pain, agonizing almost, shoots up from your ankle to distract you. A glance at the rude thing down below reveals another doll, albeit one neither of party balloons nor a hand-stitched cloth. A little marionette of a thing, all bones and strings and pointy, sharp, painful teeth. You move your hand to swat it, or perhaps to spank it, but your hand is blocked by your 3rd little hand-sewn friend, their tie a torn mess as they try to shelter the newest arrival from your reprisal. They pull them up on to the others, but Bonesy doesn't seem to like your friend with the oversized star wand for some reason. Clearly, you'll have to keep your eye on everyone if they're going to be friends with such rude dollies. A moment later, you realize in your distraction, you've walked through the mist out into the open. Massive, shadowy things suddenly seeing you as you see them, and fear and terror lance through your unbeating heart.
So, yeah, that's Olivia's dream. And that's what she tells you guys first. And
That was intense.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out who Bonesy is, and given tonight the Sabat and everything, holy crap. So Olivia will mention that she did talk to Lyra about this, and Lyra kind of gave a little insight, and she did mention La Sombra, she did mention Sabat, and she did mention a past lover for Ashley, I do believe. Like, it looks like the one that was trying to pull Ashley might have been a old flame. And then I think that's all I can remember about what was said about the dream. I don't know if there's anything else said about it outside of Lyra's little tidbit. And so then Olivia goes into the second vision that she had at the court, with, oh my god.
Lucio.
Yeah, the Giovanni. And how he basically was almost angry and
Oh no, he was angry. He was
oh yeah,
absolutely enraged.
he was on the verge of like losing his shit in the courtroom while glaring at Ashley. And she tells Alvin and Pius about the vision and how Ashley was supposed to be his first pick, not what's the guy's name?
Rocco.
Rocco. There you go. I almost had it right.
Rico.
That Ashley was always supposed to be his first pick, but she got chosen by Dr. Thorne, and that there's like something going on there and that it needs to be watched, and kind of basically leaves that at that for them. It wasn't a good look. It was terrifying.
It was
Remind
murderous.
me what Rocco explained to me about House Giovanni.
It's a messed up place. Usually highly inbred, and the amount of family blood you have and whose family blood you have tends to determine how important you are, regardless of your actual age as a vampire.
But
Unless
more in terms of their skill sets, their
they tend towards banking and finance on the surface.
Did I get the tidbit about them being necromancers?
Oh, I don't actually. Now that you mention it, I was just listening to that video earlier, and I don't think it actually got brought up directly. Just that they were really messed up.
Yeah, I think he was very vague when he was talking to you.
Yep.
But is that something that,
Oh yeah, that's kind of. But for someone that's spent 5 years studying, that's kind of common knowledge enough about Giovanni.
right?
The trade and that stuff. So you would probably know that already anyway, along with the banking bit. So then you might rule the corporate world, but in terms of which vampires own which, in terms of the banks, that's a Giovanni.
And we know that there are not many of them in the city underneath the prince's banner, and that Lucio and Rocco are recent arrivals.
Indeed, as far as you know. Yes.
That said, recent arrivals that with fresh new Sabbat ties. But Olivia, for all intents and purposes, is done presenting.
For the most part, yeah. She's gonna leave the bit about talking to Dr. Thorne up to Ashley to mention, just in case like there was something that Ashley didn't want to mention.
Yep. Alvin's just kind of looking around the room for everybody to get their piece onto the table before he speaks.
Mm-hmm. Once Olivia's done, she'll explain how they did go and speak to her sire and questioned why the Giovanni would be so murderous looking at her, because she's never met him before. And would explain that there seems to be blood ties from Ashley to Giovanni. And basically all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to last session to remember what Rocco talked to me about. It's been a minute. So we get.
Sorry, what was that? I was dealing with something.
No, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to what Rocco and I chatted about, so I have a fresh memory of
about shitty lives for the most part, and your sister.
Yeah. So Ashley tells us about the setup between.
You definitely brought up the fact that his sire never fails to remind him that he was his second choice.
Oh yeah. So
with Ashley. Is that all Ashley's putting on the table at the moment?
She'd also mentioned that she's on top of this about we should not be alone, but she definitely was told by her sire to stay either within his watch or within the coteries' watch for fear of Giovanni.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
Pius would, or Alvin would look to Pius and go, anything you'd like to contribute?
I mean, obviously there's a threat. I just kind of, I don't really, I'm not too familiar with like this, like, isn't Giovanni a sire?
Giovanni's a house of necromancers.
The person that's after Ashley.
Yeah, that's one of the people that was at court today.
Yeah.
Putting that aside for just a moment, you've been distant, removed, bit proverbially on edge as of recent.
Yes.
What's up, Pius?
Just
we're
learning
putting
more things about the Nosferatu has taught me that I have to give things up to obtain things.
I see.
And I kind of feel myself letting go of, I guess, my reformed side, and kind of just want to let go and give into, I guess, what happens with the new nature of my character.
You're not letting the beast run wild, are you?
Oh, I am.
You do know what happens if you let that hunger just run rampant, right?
For now, it's going to take its course, but I will get a hold of it. I mean, anything can be solved. I mean, everything's like a clock. I just have to figure out how it ticks.
Pius, I'd like to warn you from someone who's been doing this a little bit longer. If you let that hunger take you completely, the prince will have to put you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a that's not a, you know, personal vendetta. That is a masquerade.
Humanity Zero, the state of wassail, in which you are not even sentient or sapient anymore, but a mindless beast. Because that's all you are. You're in a
Pius
beast.
won't get to that point.
No, but like this is just Alvin, like not knowing your circumstance on a meta level.
Alvin has
Yes.
absolutely heard horror stories about this, partly to scare him into remembering to control himself.
I'll put it this way. In the 5 years that it happened, actually relatively early on in my time of being within this world, Arthur made sure to let me know, not more than 6 months after I had turned, someone had actually let themselves just go. There was a convenience, and Victor did much in the same that he did tonight. Don't let that be you.
I will do my best. I feel like I have a good teacher that will keep me in line through my trials. And it seems like I got a good group that'll reel me in if they ever see me wandering too far off.
Hell yeah. You
That's
better
what
not
we're
be
here for.
wandering off too far.
But for now, I just need you guys to trust that I can make it through the darkness that I'm going to walk into.
Well, if you ever need help, don't hesitate to ask at least.
That I will never hesitate on.
If I catch you slipping, I'm gonna kick your ass. I hope you understand that.
Put him through the door and let your handyman get mad at you for once.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna make Joshua mad over something like that. It's just gonna be corporal punishment, a la, Air Force boot camp.
Ouch.
Damn.
Pius would do an ear-to-ear grin and just say, for the things that I have planned, I'm going to need, say, a very tough team.
Alright then.
That is fair.
Well, considering what the girls have placed down before us, I might have a little insight into the circumstances going on. The Giovanni pairing that seemed to have arrived at court tonight has. How do I put it? I've got my own personal worries on it. Them seeking asylum from the prince, or at least making themselves known, in the same week that Sabat makes their plans, does seem strange in coincidence. The Fordon Butcher being in the area, running rampant, probably coincidental, but I could also see Sabat sending something to destabilize the peace a little bit. In your direct confrontation there, Ashley, considering that you have history, even if it wasn't necessarily your choice to have it, House Giovanni's not to be messed with. The person that took your spot as the sired child happens to be an old Air Force buddy of mine. Olivia and I ran into him earlier this evening before the meeting went down.
Yeah,
His
but
name's
did you?
Rocco. He's generally a good dude, if not a bit dipshitish.
But Alvin, he's in a clan that practices things that are gonna
Are
warp him regardless.
entirely fucked up. I never said don't watch him.
Hearing that, Pius grins again, ear to ear.
Again, just because I give a little context, never trust anything in this society. Period. Even if they were someone you knew. Look, we got through one mission together, and I don't want you guys to take this too poorly to heart. But understand, even if we are coterie, I still have my reservations about each of you. We've known each other for a week. But you are all resourceful. You've been upfront with me, for the most part. Even if you each have had, certain circumstances that I've come to question. I'm going to do what I can to be upfront with you. And I hope that anything you guys have in your closets, you'll be comfortable enough to impart with me at some point. I'm not going to go prying. I don't trust you all fully, but I trust you enough to understand that what's good for the group will be good for everything else going forward. My home is here as a place for you all to toss off those burdens that kindred societies kind of tossed onto you. We're all kind of thrust into this whether we wanted to or not. So, whether that's Ashley's fucked up familial history, whether that's Olivia's delusional dream she has that she's still trying to suss out, the cruelty that kindred society can impart, or whether that's whatever this mysterious path you're going on, Pius. Bagel has a place for you. Even if the rest of kindred society might want to drag you somewhere else. You've all met my sister. Try to do what I can to make her safe. If Sabat's back, then I'm going to be doubling that effort. Rocco is
What
somebody
are
I
those
know.
spots? specialize in? Necromancy?
No, Sabbat as a whole follow the same clan setup as the Camarilla. So you have Nosferatu on the Sabbat side, you have Tremere on the Sabbat side, you have
The
Malkavians
most
on the
notable
Sabbat side.
difference, and you would notice from your training, is the presence of the main bodies of clans La Sombra and Tizmishi, which generally aren't members of the Camarilla at all, and tend to get hunted down if they try to. And I mean that by the
Out
rest
of
of their clan.
game, is Lynette a Sabbat?
No, she's an independent.
Okay.
Mhm.
But she has a lot of traits of the Sabbat, or no?
No.
Okay. Okay.
The main setup of the Sabbat is that they view kindred society as vastly superior over mortal society to a degree where they will do very forward things that may not always work well with the masquerade. They
What
do
are
things
their vampiric gifts mainly consist of, if you know?
much in the same, as far as I'm aware, as the traditional clans. Maybe a little bit twisted, maybe a little bit different. They might play with some more dangerous magics than the Camarilla are willing to.
Just to
lay
be
on.
clear, Pius isn't getting the Giovanni and Sabbat mixed up in his head, right?
No. He's just trying to figure out the simple thing of what
Yeah.
do they do.
Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't like
Like
something that was going
Nosferatu
down.
do like obfuscating things. They do.
Well,
Well,
I mean, there are Nosferatu in the Sabbat. The Sabbat's a whole sect like the Camarilla, so
Okay.
lots of clans.
we'll put it this way, Pius. If the Camarilla is a group of individuals bent more on order that keeps all safe, the Sabbat is a group that holds a different ideology. They would prefer that they supplant themselves as the top dominant creature, despite what the masquerade the Camarilla decides to put forth. They are monsters in true right, and they embrace that idea. They let the beast out a little more than is accepted within the Camarilla.
So they're
They
like a
are
mixed bag. They can do like magic. They can do stuff that like the Nosferatu
Because
can
they
do.
have different clans, just like the Camarilla has the Tremere, which do magic, and the Nosferatu, which do obfuscating stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Because they're the thing called anti-tribu, which is generally means that a clan that's against its own or something like that is the way to refer to those that are members of a sect that's not their main sect. So,
Okay.
like for example, any Camarilla clan that's in the Sabbat would add anti-tribu onto the edge of that, and vice versa.
the main point is that they're zealots.
And then in their eyes, are they like fighting? Like, so they're like a rebellious group or like a
That would be
I
the Anarchs,
the Anarchs? Okay. like
and even
down
the
with a vampire government.
even the Anarchs. No, the Sabbat are like, yeah, the Sabbat are not anywhere close to human most of the time. So even the Anarchs and the
Okay.
Camarilla, when they're disagreeing, usually team up on the Sabbat because the Sabbat will tear through them both anyway.
No, yeah, you said the keyword that I needed. I wasn't comprehending everything correctly, but you just said that they're
Feel
like so
free to
far
look it up
gone.
in the book. Feel in like the sex section of the book near the start. Feel
Yeah,
free to read like the couple of pages it has on the Sabbat.
they're just like feral, like and all that shit.
The main thing is that the Sabbat are the monsters from the stories and the movies that depict vampiric society in the worst light.
It's all clicked now.
Yeah. The
I
Anarchs,
get it.
contrast, just simply don't like the way the Camarilla run things and are not too attached to the generational hierarchy that the Camarilla has.
Yep. We're the Frankensteins. They're the Shamblers. They have no. They're just feral.
Livia, you look a bit annoyed.
Yeah, because I'm not fucking delusional.
Maybe I misunderstood mischose my words.
Yeah, whatever.
You think?
Just continue on with the meeting. We have more important things than me mauling your face off right now. Just expect poison in your drink tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ashley's gonna
It's just a
reach
cup
up and
of
just
chocolate
pat
milk.
Olivia's like, it's okay, Olivia. Just
Alvin looks genuinely like, yeah, that was a big misplay. That was not the intention that he desired to put forth. Like there's a genuine like look of damn, I fucked up. Oops.
She doesn't think she's delusional. She
Oh,
fucking
no.
thinks this is fucking real.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, but still, Alvin knows like enough to go, oops, fuck, damn. I'm gonna have to fix that later.
She'll
Now's
probably
not
go. She'll get over it.
In terms of Olivia's dream, the vision she had, if I had to place the guess, the bony puppet of sorts is likely Rocco. If you are being tempted by the Giovannis for whatever history you have, then Giovanni is certainly using Rocco as a bit of a pawn in replacement to whatever they might have expected from you.
I'll
In our
pick his
brief
bony teeth out.
conversation, he didn't quite have the most pleasant things to say about his sire and clan. He's more there out of shit circumstances, all things considered.
definitely no need to worry about that. I don't want to deal with Giovanni at all.
It's definitely something to worry about. If it turns out that Giovanni is here for sabbat measures, then that's a problem. Or if they're simply here to torment you, well, then we as a coterie have a problem.
Which is why I wanted to make sure everyone knew, because if you have ties with me, there might be issues for you too.
I can't say that I know who's trying to rip my tie off, as he kind of looks back over to Olivia. But I would have initially thought it to be Thomas. But now I might have a guess that it is his sire that wishes to see my destruction. Though it seems more out of spite towards my own sire. It doesn't seem like Clan Ventru has been too happy with Adam Longwell's performance as of late. And he's taking it out on others in a bit of petulance. We'll see how that forms, and I don't believe it should necessarily concern any of you, but much in the same way. If something were to come down the line where I upset a few other higher-ups within Clan Ventru, you may all see some repercussions as well. Outside of that, I would do your best to avoid contact with Arthur Wayman. He need not know what goes on here at the Bagel. Nor does he need to know what is exactly going on in each of your lives.
Yeah, he reminds me of my creepy uncle. I'm good.
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna know what I'm doing.
He has designs for whatever it is I'm supposed to accomplish. And to be quite honest, I don't really care. So do your best to limit contact with him, if at all possible, that it comes knocking on your doorstep.
He'd have to find my doorstep before he could do that.
It sounds like my sire is decently connected, in particular with your sire, Olivia. It was, in fact, the first day that we met that he had requested that I keep a particular eye out for you in favor to Lyra.
Wait, they have good connection to each other?
It
Oh,
would
wait.
seem so.
They do.
My guess would be
Right.
that they were coterie before Lyra was able to gain her own child.
Lyra's able to get into my mind.
hmm
Do you think that's going to be a problem? Do I
He's
need
going to look straight into your eyes and like, with a smile. The Malkavians may be a lot of things, but I don't think that they're necessarily going to snitch on a child trying to do his own thing. Lyra likes intrigue within the kindred society, does she not? If she knows what's good for her, then I'm sure she can't wait to see what show we as a coterie give. And gives a genuine beaming smile.
I would just like to say once again, I find it, even though I'm the one that made them all, I find it so very odd and enjoyable that it's the Malkavian that's the wholesome sire out of the group.
I like Lyra.
hmm
She's my mommy away from home.
That said, I've said my piece. Say the rest of you.
Mm.
We got some work to do.
Yeah, Pius refrains. Because taking down the Fordon, learning what he's learning, he rumbled in the bathroom. He's just kind of like, bring it on. But he doesn't want to say that because he knows the danger of saying bring it on.
We'll end up deader than Leroy Jenkins.
Yes. But
Alvin.
he sure is amped up and waiting. He's like, bring it on. Let this guy come here. We're going to punch him in his damn vampire face.
What have you,
Hey,
Olivia?
there's an idea. Maybe you can make a clock out of vampire fangs.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
In any case, your meeting seems to draw to a close. I imagine each of you has places to be. Or do you all plan to spend the night at the Daily Bagel? I mean, the dawn is a couple hours off still, but you should probably think about where you're going.
Ashley's going
I'm
back
gonna-
to Chantry.
Yeah, I want to stay behind to talk to Alvin for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I can drop people off if need be.
Because you're back at your place now, and
Mhm.
therefore can access your vehicle. Yes.
hmm So if Ashley needs a ride back to the Chantry, I can provide that.
More than
Granted, she'll just be dropped off and have to walk in. And like, yeah, because I'm not going to know how to do anything outside of that. But yeah.
So what does it that Olivia wishes to talk with Alvin about?
She's just gonna express that she's now kind of paranoid about people being able to get into her mind without stopping it. And how that's gonna affect the coterie.
Well, if that's a worry, mortals would tend to go see therapists or occult individuals to find ways to, calm their mind, ward their spirits, stuff like that. Maybe you could ask someone in your clan if there's a particular way to center yourself and make it so the network isn't something that can just live broadcast through your eyes.
All I know is Lyra.
Lyra knows a lot more people than just, the few that you've seen. These clans have so many more individuals that you haven't met yet. You just have to ask.
Yeah. And also, I'm not fucking delusional.
Again, that poor choice of words. It was really not my intention. Look, you've expressed concern about how things don't exactly make a whole lot of sense. Be lost in a dream where You're still sussing things out.
Sorry,
Right.
Andrew posted. Snape, control your emotions. Discipline your mind.
Pius will walk up and tap Olivia on the shoulder.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to continue. She acknowledges you.
He will lean over and go, "Hey." Then he cups his hand and holds it out to you and says, "Open your hand."
And she does that. She
He
opens her hand.
places his pocket watch in her hand and says, "Whenever they're listening to you, you need to wind this knob. And when the hand starts moving forward, I want you to count backwards. And then they won't hear you anymore."
Huh. Okay. And are you giving her the pocket watch to borrow?
No, to have.
Oh, to have it? Okay. She's going to basically smile really widely and keep it in like one of her jacket pockets that are safe and like inside her jacket so no one can see it or take it, and basically give you a big hug without, you even without asking. So
Pius is definitely used to it from his sister.
kind of figured.
He actually like flinches and then goes, "Oh," because he didn't go to the floor that time.
Yeah,
Yep.
she didn't tackle you that hard. It's more like a jump on you. And she thanks you for that, and she's gonna go sit on the couch and start playing with it, and she's probably gonna spend the night at the Daily Bagel
That's fair.
while playing with the watch and meditating with it and seeing what she can do. She's still gonna seek out someone, ask
Mhm.
Lyra probably, but she's gonna mess with the pocket watch definitely.
You planning on sticking around for the evening, Pius, or you heading back home?
Uh,
I got plenty of blankets and pillows.
yeah, I guess I'll stay.
Plenty of space on the couch if you want it.
When
Got some
does
crabs.
Joshua arrive? Wait, does Joshua know what we are?
No, he doesn't. But this
Okay.
side of the this side of the basement's strictly off. It's also locked from this side, so they're not really allowed to come in here.
Oh man, if Joshua ever becomes a ghoul, Pius is gonna purposely fall asleep in front of the basement door. He's gonna Floyd the basement door.
You
Hmm.
shouldn't have to worry about it. My manager for the daytime shift tends to keep the rest of the mortals in good check and line.
Rachel's not a ghoul?
No,
Okay.
the only person who's a ghoul upstairs is Kyle.
Who's Rachel?
Isn't she the...
Alvin assumes that he means Sarah or Jess,
Which
but
one's the one that does the stuff in the morning? Or the one that you speak to when you before she leaves? There's one that you
so
speak to.
Jess
Sarah.
tends to stick around longer. Sarah is the one that tends to be the gal that likes to dip out quicker. More
Okay.
just
Okay, my shift's over. I'm gone.
right.
All right, then yeah, Pius would be referring to Jess, but
Mhm.
Rachel just came out because he doesn't know their names.
Yep. Neither Jess nor Sarah are in the know. It's just Kyle.
Just Kyle. Okay.
Now, granted, I might be expanding that list of individuals who work for Bagel soon. And I'm going to need a few others that are in the know, but for the most part, you're the last to wake anyway, from how late you tend to show up to the Bagel. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just
Yeah.
fall asleep
You
within
haven't
this
noticed it
confines.
yet. You haven't noticed it yet because the last time, like, he woke. Oh, actually, he hasn't actually. He only lost his humanity this night, so
Mhm.
that hasn't actually occurred yet. But going forward, he'll wake up a little bit later.
Yep. Yep. He's slipping.
Yeah, no. Alvin's noticed who shows up, like, when and how fast. And, like, as a general gauge of, like, how long it actually takes for certain individuals to, like, travel. because we've been to, Lyra's domain. We've been to the, Chantry, though we haven't been inside. And, well, I haven't been to the Warrens yet, it's still very much a, like, he's mentioned halfway across town to at least a certain degree. And, no. He stayed at the, he stayed at the bagel a couple times, so it's like, this is about your waking hour. Interesting.
You're effectively treated as permanently being humanity 10 for when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he, when he started the campaign, was humanity 6.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That said,
I think I'm 5 now.
You are 5 now, yes.
Yeah.
basically, Pius, you're being told, don't ever fall asleep outside of the confines of, like, this room. If
Yeah,
you're gonna
yep.
stay at the bagel.
Yep, that's why he was making tabs of who was ghoul and who was not.
Mm-hmm. But you each
So
would
Ash,
be given, blankets, things to, be comfortable. If Olivia wanted, Olivia could also, get, a cup of coffee or, bagel or whatever. Alvin would, of course, prepare these things for her if, she's looking for it.
Yeah, could you give me an old bagel that's gone bad? I need to leave something out for squeakers.
I can do that. He's going to accommodate his guests.
even the ones that have rats for pets.
Yes.
We will probably need to feed another drop of your blood on the next night.
God damn it, poor squeakers. I'm just playing. I'm not gonna eat squeakers.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you just need to feed because it takes 3 drops to fully bond the ghoul. And works the same way for animals.
Fair.
I can give an animal my blood.
Isn't that what you were doing with Squeakers?
Oh yeah, now that I know this, Squeakers is gonna be my best friend forever.
Mm-hmm. Animal ghouls are a thing. In any case, that means that 2 of you are staying at the bagel. 1 of you is for sure going elsewhere. What about Olivia?
She said
I'm-
she's staying.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Okay, so 3 of you are staying. 1 of you is going because you're required to go.
Yep.
No,
So,
she's not
perhaps-
required anymore.
What do you mean?
Dr. Thorne specifically said that if she was going to stay anywhere, it was to be under his purview or with her coterie.
No, that was for keeping safe and traveling together. That wasn't for
Yes.
staying places.
Look, all I'm saying is that I smell a loophole.
Yep, and if she tries to exploit it, they're both her and her sire getting their ass hooked by the regent
Yep.
because it's not Dr. Thorne's permission to give.
Yep.
Oh.
And if she wants to make sure that she can get the regent and Alvin together, she better not do that.
Darn.
Yes, I still have to talk to Regent Steele.
Yep. So,
Mhm.
and Ashley would be the best bet to help you get to him.
Mm-hmm. I put that little hook out there, but yeah, no, I still have yet to talk to Regent Steele. So
So I presume most of the remaining evening is spent with the group, or at the very least Alvin driving Ashley to the Chantry and then
Yep.
settling down for the night.
mm-hmm.
Not necessarily immediately going to bed because the sun hasn't immediately come up yet, but doing your evening habituals and whatever,
You know
you
what?
might do with the remaining time.
With
Movie night?
with at least Olivia and Pius there, we're gonna kick on a movie.
Movie night! Well, actually, you still haven't gotten around to watching Waterworld, which
No, we haven't.
your sort of friend, your sire's ghoul, left with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a Waterworld night. We're gonna find out how terrible of a movie it actually is.
I think I've seen it twice, but it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. At the
I
time,
like
it's an amazing movie. In today's day and age, god damn, is it cringe?
Yep. Some movies just don't age well.
No, they don't.
But then again, watching cringe movies can be fun on its own in some ways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has people to watch it with if they're invested at all.
Alas, no popcorn and the like, but that would probably just be more problems than it's worth.
Yes.
Hmm.
I can still enjoy the smell of popcorn.
Mhm. These two in particular, though, now get to see a softer, more relaxed side of Alvin as he actually gets to just sit there and relax and just watch a film.
He sits down in his Thundercat PJs.
Thundercats! Thundercats! Thundercats!
And like underneath his Betty, he pulls out the only and limited edition Attack of the Killer Tomatoes comic book.
Olivia's sad that she doesn't have her onesies.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I don't know if any of you guys ever remember that cartoon, but it was a thing.
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Oh, right. I was meaning to make sure you guys had these, and he'll head to his room and kind of come back out with a couple Nokias, kind of chuck them at you guys.
I'm letting that one smack me in the face.
It's soft tosses, so it's not like he's just like pelting you with them.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Well, in any case, this will be where we bring our session to a close, which
Mhm.
means experience time. All right, as usual, you get your automatic, you get your role playing, because I'm not going to try and hold that back from you. But we do have learning curve time. So let me see. Starting left to right tonight, Pius. What did Pius learn tonight?
That though old and powerful, a child's mind is still a child's mind.
Very true, very true. Ashley, what did Ashley learn tonight?
Ashley learned that there is a lot more happening for her than she actually thought.
Mm-hmm. Alvin, what did Alvin learn tonight?
Mm. That's a curious question. Mm.
Yeah, well, this is the last of book one, so this is the last time it's going to be easy. Well, easiest to answer this question with something I accept.
I think it's at this point that Alvin has kind of like come to the full actualization that there are still secrets that his coterie is, kind of keeping on the down low. It's one of those times where it's like it's reinforcing his thought process of like, while he might be honest, everyone else has still got something they're looking to gain. And he should still be vigilant of his coterie, not just every other vampire out in the block.
Yep.
Not necessarily
Absolutely.
malicious. Not necessarily malicious, but just
But you never know when other elements may come to bite you in the ass without you knowing about it.
time to plan extra.
Olivia, what has Olivia learned this evening?
Olivia's learning a lot. That there's a lot beyond her scope that she just doesn't realize. Like with Ashley, her past, listening to Dr. Thorne and explaining like uh the the way rituals are done and stuff like that for certain clans, and it's just like, oof, there's a lot that she doesn't understand, and she definitely needs to dive more into that.
Absolutely. So that's 3 for each of you so far. Heroism, no, there was no truly extravagant risk taken this session, so know that. However, we are at the end of a story arc, which means it's time for story XP, in which you can get a few more points of experience at the end of each story arc. This is an actual thing in the book, and I intend to go with it. First up, success. The characters achieved all or part of the goals they set out to accomplish. Even minor victories can be rewarded if they push the game forward, so absolutely yes. Danger. The characters survived against harsh odds and grave dangers. Absolutely. You brought down the Four-Dawn Butcher, and perhaps stuck your nose in places that it wasn't ready for. So that's 2. Wisdom. The player, unless the character, came up with a brilliant plan or even a spontaneous strategy that enabled the coterie to survive when it would likely have failed otherwise. Can anyone think of a situation in which this occurred during the course of the game so far?
I think our divide and conquer strategy against Fordon Butcher really nailed the mission success. Me and Ashley having to go to the auditorium, and then our stealth people being at the ready, and then basically just. Honestly, we easily took him down and brought him to, the sewer system without drawing the attention of others around us.
Yeah,
I
the
think
book heist as well. We did that pretty flawlessly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The book heist wouldn't have qualified for this point, but the way you successfully took down the Fordon Butcher when he otherwise could have easily escaped if you hadn't gone in the way you did, it will merit it. Therefore, tonight, it's 6 experience each in total. But first, we have one last thing, MVP. So in reverse order, Olivia. Who gets Olivia's MVP vote?
I'm gonna go with Ashley on this one. Just because the RP aspect for both of us this round. I know it started off a little rocky for everybody, but I think that was the most interesting for me tonight.
Absolutely. Alvin, what's your MVP?
No shot, Olivia. Cold read broken.
It is the merit I gave her in the thing, and it costs 3 points and requires willpower to expend, and it can only work when you the first time you meet someone. But yes, it is absolutely awesome at what it does. Malkavians get lots of nice Oracle stuff as options.
I think in terms of just the use of it this time around has vastly opened up the story, particularly for Ashley. Because without it, then Ashley would have had to engage Giovanni, and that might have been a bit more dangerous than she might have been willing to do.
It should be noted that Cold Read does have the qualifier that I can refuse to answer, and they get their willpower point back.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, moving on. So that's 1 for Olivia, 1 for Alvin. Ashley, who gets your MVP?
It's a tough one. I'm gonna say Olivia. I was gonna say she played pretty good on that tonight with the Sorry, my brain's not working.
You're okay.
But
Are you talking about the cold read?
yeah, that, but I can't really repeat it.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
fine. It's fine to repeat
Actually-
reasons in this.
Can I swap my answer?
Okay, what would you like to swap your answer to?
Pious. And here's the reason why. Because on second thought about this, while Olivia's cold read was like great, it is noted that, as you said, you can deny. But Pius had a rare moment where I was not expecting him to give up his pocket watch, which seemed to have been the most important thing he's had up to this time, to Olivia. And while he's slipping in humanity, that I feel like is going to have ripples down the line.
I
And I think that's a great character moment, not just a mechanical moment.
Very well. That's 1 for Ashley, 1 for Olivia, and 1 for Pius. Pius, who gets your MVP?
It was gonna be Olivia. Just because the memories and all that stuff, just a lot of it was focused around her visions, and I feel she played the vision pretty well.
Very well, Olivia it is. I am kind of sad you didn't pick Alvin, so I could play tiebreaker and give you your point for the pocket watch. Shame. Because I was already thinking of that this whole time we were doing it. I'm like, oh, I really hope it gets called out. Well, at least it got called out, so there's that.
I didn't even think about it because I was thinking like it's a second pocket watch, for some reason.
No,
And-
that is Pius's like pocket watch from an orphan.
I didn't even.
That's the one that
it
he
did not
modified,
register.
right?
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's the one that kept his humanity for him, but now that he sees that he's losing his, he wants you to retain yours.
Holy shit! That did not even register in my
He's like,
fucking
oh,
brain.
I'm slipping out of humanity, but this girl is so like innocent to it all. She's just, she needs to hang on to what she has.
That's why I had to pivot, because like, yeah, Olivia did great with the, that was a mechanical thing, and like you did great in RP tonight, but like then it clicked for me. Wait a second, no, that's the pocket watch. That's not just a random watch. That's like Pius's thing.
Sorry, I just thought it was a second pocket. I didn't realize it was the actual pocket. Oh my fucking god.
Olivia, you just got his heart. You've stolen 2 hearts of the
Yes.
party members. You've taken the hearts of 2 party members so far. Congratulations.
Oh my god, what am I gonna do? I have to protect that at all costs. Holy shit. Oh my
Yeah,
fucking god.
there's future setups for that. I mean, if Pius starts to slip more and more and more, like there's that totem.
Can I give my MPV point to Pius regardless?
No, you got it this time.
No,
Nope,
that's
nope,
not.
I overrule you, Pius. I'm absolutely going to accept that and give it to you.
I want to give that to him. Oh my god.
Very well. It will be 6 XP plus 6 XP for everyone, and an extra 1 for Pius. Well done, Pius.
Well, cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, no, after the rationalization of like the realization of what happened and like the gravity of that, as like he's like, yeah, Olivia got this because it's I have the ability to deny that. It's like, wait a second, the pocket watch though, because I had 2 ideas in my own head. I was just like, oh shit, no, wait. Pius has the clock that Ashley got him.
Yep.
The pocket watch, and then he modified a journal.
I did.
And I think those are the only 3 like main clockwork items that he has at the moment.
He has others, but those are the ones we've touched on.
Right. But like in terms of like things that seem important to him, kind of thing.
Yeah, he still has the journal. That's cool that you mentioned that, because that is like the other thing that Pius is holding very close to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that
I would love to see a
journal-
Pius journal entry, by the way. That would be awesome. It could get you some more experience. I mean, Olivia never fails to hit me up with a journal entry. So Ashley's pretty much right there. So, just a thing.
I guess I could start logging his descent into his path.
I mean,
It would be awesome.
Do you think that he would start to do something like that since Lynette's like teaching him things that might like
I
fade
assume
away
he's
if he
doing it in
doesn't?
character at the very least, because why else have a journal?
Yes. Yeah, there's things that Pius is writing down in his journal. I just didn't think to actually write them down physically. Because I have the Journal of Pius Brisbane on my thing, and I've written a little bit inside of it, but not a whole bunch.
Yep. Well, hopefully Alvin will also start to do that, but he's never written anything for me.
Have they seen my journal?
No.
I don't think Olivia has. I don't.
So if you're talking about your in-game Roll20 journal, that is private to you and only on your, feed to look at.
No, because I modified my journal with the watch that Ashley gave me, and that's what it looks like.
Oh yeah, you've posted that picture once.
I even gave you an experience point for it in the wake of the first session.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, that is where we are leaving it tonight. Hope everyone had fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading the beginning of Pius's journal, and I was so like edgy. I was like, I'm going to meet this so-called prince.
I mean, you've basically been playing Pius to be the edgy boy, and in only like the most recent sessions has he kind of like started to grasp the gravity of things. I think Lynette really set certain things into place.
Yes. Pius is dropping a lot of his reformed, like hiding his true self from people. He's be more open now.
No.
I think it's because he's not given a damn as much, and that is because of him losing humanity.
But on some sides, he probably finds that agreeable, not having to give a damn.
Yes, it feels good.
Pesky feelings, you have to get rid of those too eventually. Kindred are dead, so too should be their emotions.
Feel like Pius and Alvin are going to be on polar opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Naruto Sasuke thing. I don't care how bad you get, you're still my friend. And I'm just all.
No.
Don't bite into it. It's bad. I'm.
Alvin's by far gonna end up probably the weakest member of the team in terms of like supernatural things. So.
Well.
Yeah, Pius is gonna be strong by just manpower. It's what I'm hoping for. It might not get to that point, but I'm hoping to at least be able to be like, hey, look at this backup that I have.
No, like Ashley's got her, sorcery, thaumaturgy, all that other odds and ends. You're going to have the might of Nosferatu in your new path you're walking. Olivia's got shit that's just gonna mess with people's heads eventually, I'm sure.
She has all sorts of ways of learning about things she otherwise would never be able to.
Whereas Alvin's just like, I can be a face.
See, Pius's end goal is solace and seclusion, and there's two people that have been able to do this for a long time, and he wants to know why and how. There's two people that are literally like invisible, non-existent, all other than myth, and he wants to figure out if there's
Who?
not myth.
Who are the two?
Kane is pretty much myth, and Nosferatu ran off after he took revenge on his sire. So both of them have not been found.
Also, note that Nosferatu, the antediluvian, and his own direct progeny, other than the one that ran away and actually founded the Nosferatu clan, are going to be hunting down the Nosferatu if they're ever actually awake.
Yes, Nosferatu hates his own kind and wants to kill every one of them.
Aside from the ones that follow him directly, which is like a few Methuselahs, basically.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a little bit of light on my end goal. Whether it be a follower of someone or figuring out what they have done to get to that point and how I can go about doing the same thing.
Well, either way, this brings us to the close of Book 1, Earning Your Fangs. Congratulations, you've earned your fangs.
Yay.
Wait, does that mean I can finally bite people?
No, it means you can go play Foundry.
Ah, I see. Yeah, you gotta get on that, Andrew.
Oh my
No.
Oh.
In any case, have a very good night, everyone.
You too.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't forget to listen to Orphan Tears.
Oh, God.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.